think it's to like 63, 64%, maybe even a little bit more, and it's forcing resources out of Rad. Na'Vi, they were switching characters. They were happy to use this ultimates to keep the stall going, but they managed to get back in time. Rad taking the point for 70%. It was about 40% when Na'Vi started to go down, Lemon. Like, it really felt that Rad could not get them down in time.
And Na'Vi, I mean, they just are so good at just stalling and delaying, even when things don't start off well. Whatever ult Rad threw at them, Na'Vi still, they squeezed out all the way to 70%, but now are exhausted of ults. Now Rad, watch as they enter through the doorway. These triple strategists all looking at Crazy Kitty. How they're able to find their way towards the back, but right now Lugi is just carving his name through the front, and Na'Vi are just barely surviving. Great shot as well from the Mantis. Vertigo will find picks, and now Na'Vi are reset.
Really feels like the eliminations, if you can't string them together, it's not going to be enough. But yeah, Rad able to sort of hold on, go for an aggressive line. You do have Cameo and Rage of Ultron. I think you ought to be using the latter first because you can farm it up so quickly and just keep these fights forced. Trust me, looking to see if he can go on for a fight onto the backline with the Banhammer. He's found his target in hand, and Smashbez is going to use the Rage of Ultron to compensate. Lugia goes down, he's going to go back into banner form and instantly shot down from Fate, who just slices him, carve him down. So now Na'Vi seeing if they can actually put the pressure onto the objective now that the percents are looking even. So Resurgence is going to be used from Vertigo, but you can see just how much of a disengage it is. They have to respect the numbers advantage for Na'Vi, and they have to respect the Galactic Legend.
You better get an umbrella out too, because there is a storm and Terra unleashes. All these bubbles from Na'Vi are splitting up the heals between Rad Vanguard line and the rest of the squad. And man, there's so many trades back and forth. You were really hoping this triple strategist from Rad lasted longer, but now this is the final fight.
Yeah, Jerky switching over as well. Like, he was on White Fox briefly, now he's over on the Psylocke. Banhammer used, and you have so many ultimates now to just sort of bank onto this fight. And now Rad, I mean, Silent Seduction is going to be great for this fight. The range is a little bit better, and they might be able to try to catch out Na'Vi if they try to position poorly. Black Cat going in for the dive straight onto the White Fox, who has to TP to get out to safety. It was close, and now Crazy Kitty needs to make sure that he can actually get the peel. He's going to disengage, goes into the backline to see if he can get the fight onto Psylocke, and the Silent Seduction is going to be used to see if he can find a clearance here. The pick goes actually towards Mash, who's able to sort of protect himself, and Jerky finds Crazy Kitty in the backline.
Crazy Kitty just walks into a hail of bullets. Na'Vi, it's just barely a 5 versus 5, but no one touches. Rad, we're just absolutely stuffed on the choke point, and Na'Vi will claim Celestial Hand, and it really doesn't get any closer than that. Because usually that first fight, when you win it, you have such a better win condition or a higher win rate to win the whole round, and Na'Vi actually had to trade lead for lead against Rad, and we're trying to survive as best as they can against the Crazy Kitty Black Cat, and Na'Vi did a good job, but once they had the skies free for Terra and the rest of the squad, Na'Vi fully took over.
Hard to see whether this is going to be like a change up in the compositions and stuff, right? Like, we're looking at the head-to-head as it goes in. The front line has been hit hard for Rad. That's the thing to keep in mind. There's no Devil Dinosaur, there's no Captain America to work with, so they want to try and make this whole work alongside the Emma Frost, who is a lot stronger. So now it's whether these teams are going to sort of work. Terra's going to be still over on the Star-Lord, seeing exactly how they want to go and try and fight for the second point. It's got a bit of high ground to at least work with, and Crazy Kitty switching over towards the Daredevil means that they want to get this fight early and just gain the control. It's hard to take the objective with these kind of compositions. They want to find a pick, and it's hard with the backline when it's as flexible and fast-moving as a Jeff and a Rocket.
Yeah, just moving away from the group was such a good idea from Rad. They realized they just cannot hold back the tidal wave. That is Na'Vi with this Dino composition, especially with Trust Me on the Deadpool. But what an opener from Trust Me himself. And then you have Terra Galactic Legend flying through the skies, and Rad don't stand a chance. They're just out in the open and really needed to track that in order to, well, I guess, play in any kind of cover at all. So the first cap will go to Na'Vi.
Yeah, still running his triple strategist on the side of Rad, but Rage of Ultron was dedicated, was used up.
You got triple support, Ultron, Sue, White Fox
build up, but the
versus triple support,
easily for Na'Vi
Shark,
was just
Raccoon.
the Galactic Legend that was the heavy investment. But it's not like you have the Gambit to sort of work around it. You're not synergizing it. You're just trying to find good timings and have the dive work on the right objective. Banhammer and it's Jeff happy to sort of sit back here at this objective. and it's immediately going to go onto the focus of Smashdeath in the sky, trying to
Animal
isolate some of the
backline.
strategists to make sure that they can't heal each other, and it allows Terra to sort of just slip in, find a pick up to Ducky, and get out to safety.
Yeah, you gotta be careful with those charms too.
I love
from
that
Nash
everyone's
if
playing
they're
the
in a
Dino.
bad position, but Rad have been, well, quite healthy thus far, as Fate is gonna try and claim some bodies. Rad seem okay. The Kumio formed to try and dodge that. Lugia seems okay, must have popped the Hulk bubbles. Either way, Na'Vi also don't have Jerky in
Ooh,
this.
that's nice. You
While he
got
was
two.
trying to brawl through with his Jeff, who Fate managed to remove some strategists. So this has been a
What's up,
really
Rage?
good
I get
fight
the
for
Daredevil
Na'Vi,
skin.
and
Yeah, I
it's
get all the
taken
new
some time
skins.
for this to develop, so we're already at 60%.
It just doesn't really look like Rad have much to actually try and break through it. Again, these kind of compositions.
Rivals gives me
if
a
you
bunch
have
of,
good
free
advantage in
units.
The first fight, you're able to take
So
it,
I just
and
buy
then
every
once you're able
skin.
to sort of actually just sit on the objective,
'Cause I'm a
especially with the
partner.
Daredevil, it's very hard for Na'Vi to find the key targets that they need because you can just heal for each other. Lugia switching over towards Angela and Venom, so it is pretty much full gun-ho with the dive. Smash there switched over towards the
Yeah, I just
Scour
grabbed
a little bit
the,
beforehand.
yeah, as
Now
soon as I
we are
woke up
trying
this
to see if we
morning,
can
I
take some of
grabbed
these flyers right out of the
everything. I
sky.
got
Falls
the-
back to the objective to fight around
the
it.
Daredevil.
When you've got a
I
Deadpool
grabbed-
and a Devil
I grabbed the
Dinosaur on this
penny
objective with a Jeff to heal you from distance.
from
You're
the
quite happy
shop.
to just make this an absolute brawl front to back on the point. The Rampage is about to start to see if we can get onto the connections. The peel and the slash, the Rampage is
Thunder
trying to
Lizard.
ferociously find a pick onto the back line, and it eventually goes onto Vertigo. It takes a while, but it gets it.
Yeah, and all the ults come out of Na'Vi for the final time. They don't go out with a whisper. They go out with a scream. And of course, the rocket damage boosts on top.
I think it's
make
pretty
it
funny.
100-0
I think it's pretty
for
funny that
preseason
all these
champ
pro
on
players
map
crashing
number
out
one.
on
And
Twitter
Brad, like you
about
said,
Devil Dinosaur.
had nothing in the bank to even get the ball rolling at all. Na'Vi take map one.
Saying, "Oh, he's so broken."
Showing for them, like,
Nobody
we
banned
sort
him,
of
at least in this match.
it's happened consistently with Na'Vi that, like,
Oh,
group
no-
stages, they
no
can often
ban.
have just like a random result drop and sort of look a little bit poor, but then when they actually get into playoffs, it can look a lot more like succinct from them. We sort of expect, especially
He's
with the meta
supposedly
being a little bit
terrible,
more
and oh, he's so
diverse
unbalanced, and he's
directions,
broken.
certainly when we expect Rad, like, they've just gone for the strategist.
No one
outright
bans him.
bans. As many supports as you can get out over and over, just take as many of them out as you possibly can. Na'Vi were like, we're going for your front line. You're not allowed Devil Dinosaur, you're not allowed Captain America.
All that talk about, oh, casual players don't know what they're talking about. Devil Dinosaur is terrible for the game.
There's just a lot of instances like that.
We have to get rid of the dinosaur. He's ruining everything. No one bans him. I think one team protected him, actually.
Trust me, kind of makes sense that they want to take out the front line.
No, a character I didn't see.
And that
Gambit.
is map number one going in Na'Vi's favor. Remember, guys, this is a best-of-3 group stage. Only 4 teams move on to playoffs. We'll find out where Rad want to go to next after this.
It's almost like there are actually characters that are insanely broken. Song's a banger. Rivals to the end of time. Couldn't watch the other day. Oh, the Lego Batman one? That's okay. It was fun. I didn't get to stream it as long as I wanted because there was a severe thunderstorm in my area. So I got off out of caution. But as expected, it's a really good game. Only concern was potentially performance issues, but PC is running fine. Obviously, console runs great. Game looks beautiful. Yeah, Lego got a good one on their hands. So I'll probably play a little bit more this weekend. What's up, Super Patrick? Haven't played any rank on my main account yet. I played a few games on my alt account. Yeah, we'll probably talk about Lego Batman on the podcast. Jay has probably made like 40 videos by now about that game. Got a lot to talk about on the pod, actually. We got Lego. Probably ain't going to spend that much time on Lego Batman, to be honest. We got the state of play to talk about coming up. We got the finale of The Boys. We got the end of Destiny. Crazy Destiny 2 is finally coming to an end. 007 next week.
And we're moving on in with the Daredevil Shadowed start available right now. Make sure to pop those balloons. I actually got it in 2 earlier today, so we love to.
Total coincidence that I'm wearing the black hoodie
as well to get that in for yourselves. Was a huge fan of the
me and Matt are matching.
I was a huge fan.
Total coincidence.
That first game, as that was an incredible start to stage 1, guys.
I was just trying to grab a shirt
like it's Navi, like
for the stream. I didn't see any t-shirts, so I just grabbed this hoodie.
The key thing really to sort of keep an eye on is just like how both teams immediately going for like different approaches. Sure, Gambit's banned out on both sides, like Luna banned out second from the side of Rad and a little bit later for Navi. They know sort of
purely by coincidence.
But they need to find like
me and Prototype Daredevil.
Advantages when they can. And
it was like I'm cosplaying as Daredevil. In year 1.
Into map 2 very shortly. As you can see, a good win for Navi on Celestial Husk and a great performance from them. The one-sided Devil Dinosaur made a huge difference, didn't it, Lemon?
Absolutely. I mean, being able to kidnap, put so much bleed, and just really have so much sustain. I mean, the Dino has so much health, and of course, Fate was a big
team not using Dino. Probably one of the ones that were talking trash on Twitter.
Take away one of the strategists, I think, was the nail in the coffin.
Just play the Dino.
Beautiful
it's fun.
Start. We are going to be making our way in for map number 2 very shortly. We'll be finding out what that is, but let's talk about it. Ryan, domination out the way. We have to go to conversions or to convoy. This is the choice of Rad. Where would you like to see them head here?
Ooh, that's a tricky question. I mean, the problem with Rad in the past is like the maps that they would typically go to in preseason didn't have good win rates. Like they would go to Central Park, but they're 1-3, or Yggdrasil, where they were only 1-1. For this game too, one of the big issues, we sort of pointed it out like going into the second round from Rad, they need to find a pick onto the back line. It's only 2 eliminations against
we're not even playing counters for Dino.
Jeff, they're so easy to get out and disengage, and if they're really being gone on by the likes of a Daredevil, for example, who's very good at going onto a Jeff with the fact that he's so mobile, just run to your Daredevil.
Like they don't seem prepared.
Run to your Devil Dinosaur. Like you have so many like
if you were determined, we're not going to play Devil Dino.
And because of that, Rad struggled to get anything.
But you're worried about Devil Dino. Why?
Now we did see.
Why are you running this comp
of that black
that doesn't counter it
earlier on? But it seemed to be abandoned as time went on. Lemon.
I think that was the right choice because also level 1 Crook on that first round ended up going to Loki, and you imagine trying to assassinate someone that's either not a real person or invisible. Like that was kind of painful there at the end, and Black Cat is going to be a really high skill hero to try and master, and I think it's only going to get better as the games go on.
I won't keep you any longer. We're heading into map number 2, and it will be Hall of Jalia, a Na'Vi classic here. Once again, Lemon Kiwi and Ryan Central, take it away.
A Na'Vi classic, but the Rad.
I just don't enjoy playing Black Hat.
Is worrying, especially how Rad got kicked in the dirt on that second round, but that is the nature of domination, right? You save your ults until the next round, and then sometimes you just get flooded out.
Yeah, maybe it's like you could probably see a very similar draft for Rad than what we just saw on.
She's definitely difficult. She just doesn't feel
like
satisfying for me to learn.
Keep prioritizing that. It's a great map to play Ultron on. If you want to play more like
Daredevil
Vanguard,
feels
instead of
satisfying to
going for,
learn.
like, Devil Dinosaur, Captain America, you can go for
Daredevil
Venom,
feels fun to play.
Go for Hulk, Deadpool Vanguard is still going to be good in some of these instances. It does feel a little
Black
bit
Hat
like
just doesn't click for
maybe
me.
Smash Days and Rad have an idea on how they want to approach it. But like you said, Lemon, like this isn't a bad map for Na'Vi by any stretch of the imagination. It really does feel like Rad just don't really have their home ground set up just yet. And with the fact that Lower Manhattan's in the game, a lot of teams try to go to like the new map, like Museum, to try and catch teams out. I think both of these teams would prefer to get to playoffs before they show what they have cooked up on the newest map added into the game.
And why I think the one-sided Dino was also so strong is it's one of the few Vanguards in the game that can actually be self-sufficient and self-heal, really, as he chomps down on the competition. So making it such a good anchor.
You'll grind Daredevil, you on the stick
really
drift.
Don't need to run.
Don't even need the
triple
stick drift
strategist, which
on
was the bread
Daredevil.
and butter of Rad at the beginning. But what you really need against Devil Dino is a lot of damage.
If you mean
and that
like
can sometimes
using
be
the
lacking.
using the
They tried to go with
melee
the double damage boost with the
to
Mantis and
cancel, I just
Ultron, but
rebound.
there were some changes.
Yeah, I
to
never
Mantis.
R3
Ultron's ult is a little bit
in
stronger,
Rivals
and still that wasn't enough to tilt
on a
the
melee
scales.
hero.
So
I
there's
always
really gotta be
rebind it
balance between how much attention
to
you
a
wanna pay
face
to the
button.
Dino, who is gonna be
I think for
getting a lot of
Daredevil, I
heals,
have
a
it
lot of
on
resources,
triangle.
and heal himself, or how much do you want to attack the backline, as you alluded to earlier? And just having one Black Cat wasn't enough for Rat at the beginning.
Yeah, I'm really curious on like how the draft could potentially sort of change up.
And
Like,
I
it
turn
feels like
and
at
I
the
have my
moment,
sensitivity up
especially
on high,
beforehand, a lot of teams might go
so
in
I
very different
can
directions or what
so I can
characters
flick
wanna
and change
prioritize
directions
beforehand.
without
Like,
much
Are
effort.
we an Elsa team or are we a Gambit team? And we're going to build around that functionally. Here it does feel like
It's a good
everybody's
time.
little
It
bit more
feels
reserved.
nice
It's
to
like,
learn.
okay, we're going to sort of keep it close. Maybe prioritize the likes of Dino. Maybe prioritize like getting stuff like the White Fox. Or we can maybe try to go for something a little bit more like open, I suppose, with like
I have it. I have horizontal and
text that we've been seeing
and
from
vertical
Pacific. It really is going to depend
up
on these teams.
up
but like,
over
again,
like
partway
300
into the
on
draft,
console.
Gambit not
Closer to
first banned out
4
on the side of Rad. In
when
fact,
I'm
they
on
wanna go
a
for the one-sided
melee
Devil
hero.
Dinosaur, and they've banned out Cap as well. So now V are going to struggle with their front line.
So it's my turn with the Devil Dino
Alright, so
stick, I guess. It's my turn on the
Dino
controller,
ban, Dino
says
save,
Rad. So
Cat
we'll see how
ban,
much that really tilts
Venom
the scales
ban,
and kind of
Gambit
what
save,
are gonna
interesting.
be the targets of a Na'Vi now that you're facing a Dino, because it's the structure around the Dino
Shark,
that
Luna
really
ban.
matters. Looks very menacing, but it is a Vanguard that
Yeah,
demands
that
a
makes
lot
you
of
get a little
resources.
crazy.
There's really a team that works around him, or you could, like I said, you can play that hybrid style of.
I've been learning to be
Captain
more
America,
controlled on
Venom, or just
Daredevil
anybody else
to
try and access that
to,
backline. So at least Terra will at least have the Star Lord, which
make
is
the
one of his
combos
strongest
efficiently.
heroes, and there's a Gambit. So that's a really strong looking composition.
go in.
Yeah, I mean,
Devil-
it's also
go
a little
in,
bit, like,
Devil's
risky,
Throw,
I suppose, because it's like you've gone for the old
dash in.
Rad again, want to try and get Smash Des over to protect onto Black Cat. So the
Because you're mostly wanting to be using Devil's Throw anyway.
Like the duelists at the very least, and the triple strategists. But it's the fact that
So I
you've got
tried
Star-Lord protected from Na'Vi.
not
because
to get
Star-Lord is such a
too
good
caught
counter
up in what's
Ultron,
going on,
but
so I
then
can
because
so I
you
can
haven't
react
banned out
to the
Gambit
opponent.
begin with, Na'Vi have access to it.
Know when to
so
use
they
my
don't
deflect.
have to worry with the like strategist backline. Level 1 Crook was very good on the Gambit,
Alright,
but it's how it can enable the rest of the team. It is going to be that final ban going on to Ultron.
Gambit,
so Smash Days
Gene.
won't have access to it, but there's stuff
No,
like the
Gambit,
Phoenix and, like, you
Star-Lord.
could still go for more
Yeah,
of the,
that's-
like
that is the
hit
correct
scanning
way.
characters, whilst Crazy Kitty
Diddy.
goes in on the Black Cat.
Emma, tank
I'm
pool.
also liking
Rocket.
Rajaro and Trust Me, just the way that their hero pools overlap
Much-
with each other, and even a good fallback
much smarter
plan for Rajaro, which
if
was
you're
kind of
going into
unique to a
Devil
lot of
Dino.
Vanguards
Emma's
in
really
the
good in the
NBA,
Devil
was
Dino.
falling back to
Rocket
the
too.
Emma, so they'll be kicking off on defense first, while we'll see Crazy Kitty back on the Black Cat, which is always going to be nice to explore an assassin on a larger map where you're
The Devil Dino's
expecting
not
more
broken.
space between the back line and the front line, especially on a map like Halajalia, where this platform
He's
that we're
really
running through
he's
on
really
defense,
strong, but he's
where
not
a lot
like
of the backliners are a lot of
insanely
the poking duelists would
overpowered
rather
like
sit,
a
and
Gambit.
Crazy Kitty will see kind of what the pathing will be.
He's
for
counterplay.
this new
You can
hero
counterplay
to
pretty
try and access that backline.
pretty reliably.
Feels as well like Navi
But
gonna
you
be
do have to
defending
counterplay.
first. It's been a while since we've seen Trust Me go for the Spider-Man, pull somebody off of the map play right at the beginning. I don't think we're going to start seeing it now anytime soon. But we have got Venom on the other side for like Lugia, at least to begin with. They want to
Alright,
go for a very
immediately-
dive-centric
immediately destroying the
combination.
map.
And whilst you have got a
So
big
that they
dinosaur
can't,
on the
sneak
side of
over
Ducky,
there.
he can leap into the action if he needs to. Trust Me is going to be just getting some information on the Deadpool Vanguard yet again. And Rajaro over on the Emma Frost is going to do a lot of hurt to Ducky if he's not careful.
Looks like they're coming up
Careful is the name of the game as Rad take it
From
to the
high ground,
hallways,
I wish my ranked teammates would do this more often.
Which we used to be so good on domination.
They always try to
kind of
walk up main
setup, so still very unique. Haven't seen it from Vertigo when is
to capture this
pulling
point
out the ult. Now Rad are still
instead of going from the high ground, which is much better.
There needs to be some Vanguard presence from Na'Vi, and I'm not seeing that from Trust Me and Rojaro yet. The Banhammer does come out to try and limit Rad, but now there's just no heals left from the Na'Vi defense side. Someone's maybe gonna have to teleport if they want to consider recontesting here, but Rad's still
going crazy.
That second tick, so maybe Na'Vi have time.
Yeah, this is where it feels like things could be a problem. Like, Rad can get the elimination, sure,
the
but
MS
can actually load into any sort of actual takes. Whole play's been dedicated, so Na'Vi are looking to try and fight this and stall for a little bit more time because it's like just over a minute that Rad have had this on this attack.
Great
It's looking
dinos.
very
Yeah,
good.
the dinos
pull
cooking
away
them.
to try to take out some of these people from this like setup that Na'Vi are trying to put together.
Yeah, they got
It
fried,
isn't going
holy.
to be enough in the end, and the payload starts moving. Rad a very quick pace on this first point.
Ducky on the dino, man. That was such a good gatekeep girl boss position right in front of the portal, which Na'Vi kind of realized seconds too late. Was this winnable? Did we need the portal? Which then shifted all the roles around because Crook had to be the one that portal. You reset your ult
Shout you
charge,
out.
but one person
I
will
said-
have her eyes on.
I said hi to you
is
at the start of
eagle
the
in
stream.
Sky. It's Terra, and you already see
we need a
Lugia
shout out for her.
trying to mark him, but more focused on
Whoa,
the
Starlord ult.
strategist behind Terra. Terra does not care. He's now above and beyond. Rad trying to bubble off, but they're caught out in the open and no chance to escape. A big double elimination
I hate this
from
Starlord
Terra
ult.
as Na'Vi stabilize.
He didn't even need the Royal Flush combination, just in its own right. Rad were just left a little bit like open in the areas. Crazy Kitty trying to get some information to work with.
Destroyed the
Now Rad's having
flame
to
orb
sort
from
of
Black Cat.
regroup here. Again, it's like
No more
trying
wall
to like,
hacks.
take this space might be a little bit more challenging with how Na'Vi is set up now and how brawly they want to be in this approach. But they have got these ultimates to compensate. Soul Resurgence to maybe try and go in onto this fight. And trust me, having the Banhammer is the only thing they're going to have in hand. But Silent Seduction, Royal Flush, very close to being ready as a combination.
Oh, the Soul Resurgence first. Rad will use that speed aggression, but Trust Me is still behind them, being ignored. He's now joining the enemy team, I guess. Rad will
Interesting that they
focus
would
on
go
what's
with tank pool.
important. It's trying to take down Jerky. And
After all the
Black
nerfs
Cat,
he
the
got.
guards, it was a joker all along. But Na'Vi will get that resurrect and try to be back at full force. And now the damage boost from Fate. They're trying to tilt the
I just don't think
scales,
he's nearly
and
as good.
Is it heavy? Rad just can't throw anything at Na'Vi that they are not prepared for. As a big ult fight finally concludes, it's still Na'Vi on top.
Managed to hold out on this. You have only got like the Devil Beast Rampage now in hand for Rad as things are starting to build up again. Not really changing too much in the composition, but it's not the triple strategy.
We're getting a
we saw
Black Cat
beforehand.
TP play.
I wonder if this is going to be a big dedication for Jerky, who is able to actually go and flex onto the Black Cat himself, seeing if he can maybe just go in for a pick at the right time. As Rad have to try and take this like high ground. They really haven't got much further out of these spawn doors, but Jerky's been picked off in the back line. He's one of the highest like casualties per 10 minutes, and that could be costly for Na'Vi as they're a player down.
Yeah, just needing any kind of hero verticality, and it's smash against Terra at the moment, while Rad are just gonna put the red carpet down towards the second objective. And Na'Vi are fine playing this back corner. It's Rad that need the elims, and Terra's now on an off angle. He has to fall back to the rest
Thunder
of the
Lizard.
team, and Rad seem to be making pretty good pace. But as soon as they overextend, Na'Vi are as punishing as ever. And even if you get a pick of Na'Vi, this Rocket Raccoon has made a huge difference.
Yeah, trust me, he's like looking for the height up on the high ground. He is just using his verticality
This Tango player is really good,
perfectly,
though.
and Smashness gets taken down in the same vein. Na'Vi adjusting after losing Jerky early on in that engagement. He's going to have a calling card fairly soon, but Rad looking to try to actually disengage. You still have 2 minutes on the clock, but you just don't want to let these ults charge up anymore. Na'Vi cycling these perfectly. Jerky seeing if he can maybe get some bit more information, the way that he wants to try and play up on this objective. And right now, Rad are held in spawn again.
It's a tough spot, especially when you
They're holding
have to
pretty
walk
well.
out in the open and you're trying to take some cover here in this cylinder, and you have to keep your eyes on Terra once again. 40
Oh, they didn't heal the
HP, what a
Star-Lord.
punish. And this is how Rad can finally build momentum. Terra will be back thanks to the Rocket Raccoon, and Smash will still make Fate pay the ultimate price. Now 1v1 against Terra, taking out Smash means you have the one-sided Star-Lord in the sky, and Jerky's trying to make it a one-sided Black Cat duel. And Rad just shredded to pieces by the feline as Navi take it to Rad yet again.
It really seemed like Rad there. I think it was Lugia. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to stand
got a
to
little
make
greedy.
sure that she can't chain onto somebody else. But the range on it was so good that she was able
Shut
to
down by
control
Daredevil.
spawn, and Jerky might have overcommitted, but it's fine because it's just stalled out Rad just a little bit longer. It's 40 seconds now on the clock. And that was off the back of using that like Galactic Legend. You were hoping that to find the picks. Crazy Kitty switching over towards the Daredevil, having to let the Devil out. Maybe with the Amplify.
Daredevil just hard counters Black Cat.
Fight, and that's exactly what they're going to try and do. Going onto the back line, but the Emma is going to use a Sonic Seduction. There's no barriers to really stop this. So it's a great way to sort of displace and disrupt this whole fight from Rad. It's an absolute mess with 20 seconds left.
It's a bloodbath, and Rad are looking very unhealthy. They need to see a fight win in a Sakumio form. That could be their last option, and maybe a Banhammer coming up soon. Now they're just trying to follow along with Lugia Goat, making a ton of space, while Navi trying to take shelter, and Rajaro so low. Finally, the elims, the executions. Rad needed this. Not just a clean fight, but a clean win, because it's overtime.
Ooh, that's big.
And Point B is ahead of them. Maybe, yeah, I guess Navi are just gonna perish on the payload. And finally, Rad Cab, which felt like it took an eternity, and that time bank is going to suffer because of it.
Yeah, this is where it gets into like fine lines on this point. Like the objective could be stopped anywhere, and then it's just a case of Navi having to try and beat it. Right, getting to this point, they're going to be happy with it, but it's how much time that Navi managed to waste. Considering it was like a 90 seconds first point take, Navi are going to be happy with how much that they were able to stall. Composition changes, looking like they want to just keep it the same for Navi, but ultimates that they've been built up. Obviously, Trust Me going to still be over on the Deadpool as it's been reset from spawn anyway. But it's whether Ducky can like close this distance. Right now, he is having to sort of play a little bit at a further pace, and a Galactic Legend for Smashnez. That could be a key thing. Jerky's seeing if he can actually sort of sneak into the backline, diving through it with all of the connections there. It's a perfect sort of hit through, and he's trying to get into the face of the Galactic Legend, but it's not going to be enough to stop Smash. Never mind, Trust Me uses the Banhammer, takes him out completely.
What a Deadpool ult, that's crazy.
Yeah, the Terra versus Smash 1v1 continues, but it's Terra all day. The immediate cancel on the Smash Galactic Legend.
That was an amazing counter.
Playing with such hesitation, trying to cower away from Terra's upcoming Galactic Legend, and then Rad, I mean, gave up so much space, and now Navi are back in the driver's seat as Rad emerge once again with a Vanguard ultimate and the damage boost from Vertigo. That's what's going to make the difference as Jerky hopes to take down the resources behind Rad, but the damage boost is still into effect, and Jerky's about to become the victim, but still he thrives, and he lives, and you can't say the same about Rad, and this could be where the trail ends. Still 3 remain for the offense as the Emma drags them to their inevitable defeat, and Rad at least have a lot of health going, which means time for those respawns to add to the fight.
Not much time left now. Rad is still in control at the very least, and getting level with Crook there, he's going to stall him out a little bit more in the end, and there's no ultimates really at all for now to sort of rely on here. Crazy Kitty, having let the Devil out, might just be able to shutter Navi Vincere from the doors of the spawn room. He's right into the center of it. We've been used to these like Black Cat like montages, but Crazy Kitty's showing that in a hallway, Daredevil is still prone to being the top dog. Navi holding on, they're trying to go for this fight in the end, but they're losing players. Jerky goes down again.
Got a touch soon. Rad are making a ton of space. The Dido leads the charge. The Kumiho form is turning Rad into a winning position, and Navi just barely keeping up. At least their strategists have line of sight. Crook needs to get the Raging Royal Flush, or Navi will not hold on anymore. Rad also needs to keep on the payload.
The dinosaurs just rampaging.
Fall away at any moment, and man, Jerky just got snapped like a twig.
And
Rad will finally claim the entirety of Hall of Jalia with no time remaining.
I mean, finishing the map is a testament in itself. It's still doable, and like Navi have had good results on this map previously. It's just not been a map that they've played a huge amount in the end. It's like been 2 wins, 1 loss. So it's not really like too much to shout about. Like it's usually like Museum that they've really sort of made their home, which probably explains why Rad wanted to go to something like Convergence to change it up. The first point, perfect take for Rad. The stall out was solid in the end from Na'Vi. It felt that they basically had all options like rendered. They had all of the control that they needed. They were cycling their ultimates perfectly and sort of reading exactly what Rad had available. But just as like last brutal fights, the switch over, I think, from Daredevil for Crazy Kitty did a lot too to just give it that going power and just get a little bit more in the faces of Na'Vi that were trying to bide their time, create some space, let Jerky go into the backline, Terrafam up his ultimate. When it was a little bit more like in their faces, Na'Vi started to flounder a little bit more. 9 eliminations against Jerky. He is playing a more aggressive character, sure, but it's the timing of them that is really starting to like maybe cause issues.
22 and 3
that has transferable skills.
on Diddy. Holy, he is
Daredevil
farming.
in the preseason, so he's slotting in on the assassin. Terra gets to continue be on his comfort.
Dino's going crazy too.
But I also wonder how playing Gambit is into Dino, because man, that Dino has so much sustain. Are you really willing to invest the double cards to get the anti-heal on the Dino and put basically all your resources, all your damage into the Dino, or how much do you really want to crunch from all sides? So we'll see Na'Vi on attack now and Jerky's on the off angle.
Well, yeah, but for like Gambit before, it's like, okay, we're going to run like triple vanguards and just heal to sort of farm up these ultimates. Dino, you kind of like, I'm just going to shoot him. Like, there's so much like actual like ult charge I can get from this potentially. And you've got very squishy duelists that are in this line. So Na'Vi going for something a little bit more brittle. And you can see the Black Hat trying to get set up, but it was a nice sort of
down by Daredevil.
Crazy Kitty trying to control the high ground, making sure that Na'Vi can't take this fight from multiple positions. But trust me, farms up the banhammer so fast, he's pushed Rad all the way back, and they're at least going to get a third.
And Ducky's trying to peel for the backline too, so Rad have given up so much space. It's almost a second tick from Na'Vi, and there really hasn't been any eliminations, maybe until now. Ducky's stunned and still barely chomping away.
Oh, they finally got the Dino.
Deny this final take, and as the fight gets longer, Rajaro only gets stronger at 100 energy. No shield for Lugia, and means no teleport opportunity for Rad. Man, Na'Vi, they just bulldoze this defense.
That was easy.
You know, it's the different cases here. Like, oh, well, Rad had a really good fast point. Like, that could be the difference maker. No, Na'Vi have
might have been a little
too
defensive.
Faster. And like one of the things, even though we've seen Deadpool be like nerfed in like recent seasonal patches, it really is the fact that like he can still farm up Banhammer so quickly to begin with. And the fact that that ultimate made the difference, Rad had to respect it. They gave up so much space as a composition that wants to really like close the distance and be hard to move. Na'Vi were able to go on it, and they want to try and continue this momentum with a calling card. It dashes through multiple, and with level 1 Crook with the helm, the help, he's able to get one before he's like traded in the end. But Jerky is just forcing Rad away, and the space has to be given up again.
That was huge from Ducky, just the peeling Dino supremacy. Bubbles off the team, they all group up, and Jerky, he is relentless.
Ooh.
He will not give up or surrender. As Na'Vi, this is just a flow state like we've never seen. They are winning every fight. They are doing it swiftly. They're about to cap the second point, and there really wasn't that much of a fight from Rad.
This is just
all
light
they did
work.
was survive, but just barely. Now Na'Vi just capped, and they have 6 minutes.
They finally figured it out.
They're still going, and it just feels like we're watching Jerky's perspective here. You have the Raging Royal Flush too. Like Cloak and Dagger have to dedicate the Eternal Bond to just create some space to make sure that they don't get stuck inside this little hut. They get the pick onto Jerky, but like there's going to be enough there in the end actually to try and go in for this fight. Beerback's going to bring him straight back into the fray.
They finally went triple
Na'Vi,
support.
because it's been this like forward hold and this pressure, just finding these picks over and over again. Na'Vi have so many ultimates in the back pocket that they don't need to use. It's only stops now.
You have to play this back corner if you're Rad, because the Emma charm, the Emma ult is about to drag you all into it. Lugia needs a healthy shield, because that is the only thing that could protect Rad from this upcoming Emma ult. And if who is going to stop Terra?
The Starlight ult is about to be savage.
Smash is no longer mirroring that.
He died immediately. Holy.
But man, Terra, take a seat. Immediately flushed down. And Rad's defense, it has to stand tall here and now. And, well, Rajaro is behind the defense with the Emma charm, and it's an all-out war. Rad panic. They pop 3 ults, and it's enough to get the elimination feed back in their favor. But Na'Vi have respawn advantage and time. The power of friendship on their side, I guess, but they are trying to still head for the hills against this Dino.
Yeah, it's just all of the AoE ultimates used in quick tandem. Like, let the devil out.
It's
devil
crazy
beast
watching all these
rampage,
particle
you've got
effects on screen.
Communicated and just running it
I'm
down
used to it as a
through that
Rivals
back line
player.
of Navi, just straight through the center. But this is a quick, like, riposte, actually. Trust me, going for the banhammer this early.
I have Agamotto.
Used and it connects onto Trust Me only, but it allows to pick. Everybody else starting to go down,
Big.
however. Navi have the player advantage for the time being, and they're very low down on these, like, ultimate charges. Big things dedicated in the end. A Jerky spotting these, like, low health targets.
Black Hat
See if
cooking
he can go for the picks and
the
the
back line.
eliminations. He clears up Rad. They're forced to reset again.
Their Black Hat
Halo
is
just
really
gonna
good.
move with 3 minutes on the clock.
Rajaro huge with the Emma shield to block off most of that Eye of Agamotto, along with the Diamond form, which, well, makes you immune to that. Navi's 6 minutes has now been dwindled down to almost half of that, and a big damage boost. Jerky, I mean, he's wide awake as Rad. We're just
Oh my
leaving
God, the Black Hat is
spawn
going
room.
insane.
They haven't even come up with a game plan. You could try to put Jerky into a slumber,
Went invisible.
but it's Rad that need to come out of hibernation. They are still just barely getting through this choke point. At least Rad only lost a few, but Navi, the finish line in sight with a huge
ult.
time bank to spare as
Killed out of the ult.
comes down from
Oh,
Vertigo,
no.
but just gets
That's GG.
immediately punished. Rad, they just barely have any resources. Now it's just about delaying. You do so with the double bubble of the Deadpool and the Dino, while Navi take to the skies. It's Terra the Galactic Legend once again, and Rajaro gets all the finishing hits that they need. And Rad are still maybe having a chance to contest. There's 2 members next to the
that's
objective,
GG.
but now no longer. Almost a 3
Man, they got
minute
rolled.
time bank against 0 seconds against Rad.
See, I have Agamotto still in the fight.
Have a good
True.
go of this attacking side again. And Navi, it's just a way that they're able to actually like play off of each other. You've got this like high-paced like strategist backline, like Rocket and Gambit very
Man,
much want
they
to
actually
sort of
rolled
put
them
these spaces
on
with the ultimates,
attack.
the damage boost.
Holy.
Terra's going to be sort of dipping and diving around in the air. Jerky, as we were consistently watching, just
It's
in the
definitely
backline,
it's
absolutely
definitely a
tear
better
through
comp
people. I think
to,
it is just more like the Vanguards. It really does feel like, yeah,
to
you've
go
got
against
these,
Devil
like,
Dino.
the
I was
fact that you can,
surprised they
have
couldn't stop
American
them on
non-mirrored
defense, but
available to you. You still don't need
they have
it,
more
right? You
dives,
just
so
go
they're
for, like, the Deadpool
so they were better
Vanguard,
on
you
attack.
go for the likes of Emma Frost, which we were talking about before this, like very strong at the moment, certainly on maps like this. And Rajaro has just been one of the key pickups. It's just how, again, little the backline has gone down a Fate and level 1 Crook. A little bit more than a domination map, but that's kind of to be expected with their defense.
And you see that Smash is still trying to cement himself into this game, and his damage looks like that because he also swapped to Mantis. They were running triple strat, just trying to damage boost their duelist on the Daredevil here, and that was Crazy Kitty. So it was really tough for Rad. I like how they were really peeling for their backline, but then
Their
your
backline's
Dino
just getting
kinda run
fried.
back to your strategist. Navi just ran the entire game, and it forces Lugia to have to play something with a shield against the Emma ult, which cannot go uncontested. So we'll see how far Rad can get with the only minute they
I actually
have.
don't really like tank pool
I like that you mentioned Smash Des as well, because that head-to-head between him and Terra, it's like 7th and 8th
next
on the
to
list of like the damage
Devil
that they've
Dino.
been in a 10-minute mark of preseason. Like Smash Des has been putting up the performances, but Terra is obviously the more household name.
'Cause when
that
the
people
Devil
know and
Dino
expect it
peels,
from. It's just whether Rad can like turn these performances.
they don't
into very
have
different
much of a
with how this is
frontline
looking.
presence.
You have the Devil Dinosaur. We expected Ducky to be good on it, but the problem is he's a little bit surrounded. He's going to be taken out in the end as Terra is going to be able to go for these picks. And now looking for the Deadpool Vanguard on the other side of Lugia, able to find the elimination and only 20 seconds left. Strange Ball has to come out.
And yes, it has to come out. Ducky got bubbled off from his strategist.
I feel like they
Didn't realize what was
should have
happening
matched
until
with
it
an
was
Emma.
Too late, and no one to really heal from. Seconds remain. Luke is now on the Strange, but the rest of the army has fallen. Dead in a ditch, nowhere to be
Holy
found.
cooked.
Rad, with the only minute that they have, keep
Maybe
really
Captain America.
suffering against Navi's proactivity. And now it will be the end of Rad's attack. At least what's remaining on the
thing.
point.
the pixel they have, yeah.
And Navi are just ready to surround them and conquer. So no objective progress at all for Rad.
Shut
It
down.
just means that they're playing for a draw, and Navi having almost 4 minutes, pretty much the same amount of time back that they would have had at the start of this map on an attacking side, minus 15 seconds to go for this again. And yeah, it's like Rad had taken the high ground very nicely. It's they were posturing right, but because of the time bank, like Navi just went for a very quick like push Ducky was caught out of position.
Surprised
His,
they don't have the
sidelines and
champion
strategists behind him were completely
Devil
eliminated.
Dino.
So the big tank goes down, those ultimates get farmed up, and it's very easy for Terran Jerky
Guess
to
it
find
wasn't
the
ready
tanks that
yet.
they need to dive on to go for the picks.
Yeah. Pound
I
for
love those
pound,
champion
Na'Vi
avatars.
across the board, best in role and a meta that is very much suiting them. And I like to see that Jerky has been able to step up. I mean, there's
Blurred?
so many spotlights on this team, and Jerky was not at the top of the conversation all the time. But if he becomes like this really insane Black Cat, who has really been feared as a
What's
hero
up?
that could take over the meta, then Jerky could really cement himself as the Na'Vi MVP going
I feel like the
forward. And
Daredevil's
give
got to be
him such a
more
wealth of
aggressive
options
at
of
stopping the Black
strategies, whether
Cat.
you want to play a more front to back style with Poke and a Dino, or have maybe some integration of some flankers and some assassins with the Black Cat. So I love what Na'Vi are doing.
Not really having to change up much. It seems that this composition is what they've realistically been going for.
I feel like the pros
Now they're
hating
showing,
Devil
like, a
Dino are
different
kind of
side to it,
hypocritical.
Like Rad committing to like the 2
And are definitely
a lot more this
overreacting.
time that we saw in Domination. It'll be a very fast series in this best of 3, but it means that Rad get the tough game out of this group, or one of the tough games out of this group, out early. But they have a hell of a time to actually try and hold in this objective.
Like they're acting
Just
like
taking a
Devil
good amount
Dino
of
is something
damage.
like we
The
haven't
high
been
ground
getting.
taken, and this ages
Oh my
from Emma
God.
Frost. Actually allowing so much
So you
space
like
to
he
Ducky
just
to
got
pick up a
deleted.
lane lemon.
And the
Say that as he
anti-hero
just
from the
immediately
game
gets
with the
deleted.
Emma shield behind, like Na'Vi downloaded the kryptonite to this Dino, sends them back to the fossils, and Rad will have to portal in if they just, or maybe they want to raise the white flag. Na'Vi,
Like, he's literally not
dominate
broken.
Hall of Jalia, end the Celestial
You don't even
Hearts
need to
with
be a
100
pro
this
to-
hero,
to,
and end this
to take out
series
Dino,
with a
like-
2-0 against Rad.
That's why I thought.
Na'Vi
That's why I was
will be
like
at
the
the
crash
top
out
of
was so
Group A.
weird.
At least to begin with, like Rad.
Like, we weren't
struggling
seeing
here, but
them
it's up against the
immediately on
champions
Twitter
pre-season,
when
and
Black
I
Cat
think that's the
when
main thing that
Black
was
Cat
missing
came
from
out,
Rad,
or
with a really good performance like
when
previously.
Daredevil
It was
came
like that
out,
win
or
against, like,
Gambit.
Virtus Pro, that comeback mentality, and like
or
Virtus
Elsa
Pro starting to really
saying, "Oh,
advance
we
a
have to
little bit more.
immediately
But outside
remove
of
this
that
character
game,
from the game." Like,
certainly against the bigger squads, like they just
Like,
didn't
they
have
just-
much
they just
in
came off
it,
sounding
like,
stupid.
It was like not able to get maps against like Team Heretics and Na'Vi and such. That's just like a fine way to start.
Like,
You
as bad as the
really
character
wanna
is,
like, material,
you can
let's
always
see
just
what
ban
they did
them.
Meta-wise, whether you want to go for those positions,
like,
or
especially
whether
if
you wanna
you're
go for those fights.
high elo pro player,
Well,
you
I
just
want to
ban
go
them.
and see what Tetcher's up to, because wow, Na'Vi, we wanted to
But
see what they could do in the group
unlike-
stage, and man, they showed it.
Unlike Gambit,
I really
Or,
wanna bring up something
Elsa
that Brian
before she got
said against
nerfed.
Those games a lot, and that is just we did see
Devil
Jerky
Dino has
pull
actual
off-
counterplay.
Jerky pulled off some of the most insane Black Cat plays I have seen, but I do agree.
As we
there
saw,
was those a couple times
they got
where it
rolled
felt
by
like
Devil
maybe
Dino the
sometimes
first
timing wasn't
map.
the best, and that did give Rad a lot of momentum.
Then they switched.
Trust
Then they
me,
switched to more burst
for
damage
Terra and even
with
Jerky,
Rocket
everyone on this Na'Vi team is
on
playing
support
their
to pair with
right
Star
now.
Lord, who
And
also has a lot
one
of burst
incredible
damage.
series team
And then they went
but
Emma,
again, moments of brilliance
who
from
was a really good
Rad.
counter.
Yeah,
for
I
Devil
think
Dino.
it was really cool to see what they were able to do on the Devil Dino.
And then they
but
just-
also
they just
it's
roll
not
'em.
just how can you play the Dino, but how do you counter it? And yeah,
Yeah,
Lugia
like,
and Ducky
it-
were
it-
good
it came
at
off as
it, but
particularly
once Na'Vi
lame
started
because-
blocking off the heals
because of,
from the
you know,
Dino,
how
you
few-
saw that Ducky wasn't really being
you know,
communicated
tank-
to
lo-
on
how
when
few,
there was trouble
tank characters
behind
we
him.
get.
It was all chaos in the Rad camp, and the Dino finally was falling a lot quicker once Na'Vi really found the weakness out of Rad.
And it just
really
it
hard,
just in
right,
general
Ryan?
was just like,
I mean,
the
that's
character
pretty much
wasn't
the
even
way
that
they've
bad,
been playing
like-
so far. But it's like at this point, if your other teams that are watching
when
this
Elsa
now,
launched,
like,
yeah, that was
looking
bad
at,
'cause
like,
her-
the drafts, like, okay, what are they trying to
'cause,
prioritize? I don't think it matters.
especially her
Really.
ult.
Like strategist, you have the most flexible, most and all.
because there was like no real counterplay to it. You just use the ult and win the game.
Devil Dino or Captain
Even if you have a
America,
support
as we
ult.
saw in our first domination map. There's so many good options now that people haven't quite worked it out.
Devil
Now
Dinosaur
they can be
forces
very
you to
flexible,
adjust to
fluid, and
him,
not realistically
but
show,
he
like,
doesn't
their big
just
strategies.
completely
They're just experimenting through this
run the
group stage,
lobby
like they have done,
by
and the
himself,
fact that they
like,
won so dominantly against a
he
strong
works
Red side,
in a-
usually good on the meta,
if you have a
says
good team
lot.
comp around it.
Something I do want to bring up here is when we came into the series, there was a lot of stuff we were looking at.
Yeah,
including,
just-
like how good is Black Cat gonna be? How do we
Definitely a lot of
dinosaurs?
DPS players that were
Something
that
a
were
lot of
crying.
people,
It's
I
always the
think, might
DPS
have,
players
like,
that are
got
crying.
Lost in the shuffle here is what how good Star-Lord's gonna be with the new ammo increase he got for his basic.
DPS
and how
DPS
good
players
the Deadpool is
always
going to be.
always
My
cry.
MVP for that
They
game
never
is
want to
Deadpool.
adapt.
Trust me,
They want to
because
tell everybody
that
else to
Deadpool
adapt.
is
They want to tell everybody else
effective. very solid.
They're wrong.
Was able to get some great
They can't have anything. They never want to do anything. They never want to do anything. They're so entitled.
And was of course able to just focus onto Smash Dares to actually prevent a lot of damage output coming out with those bad hammers on Vanguard.
They always complain about support players, but
damage.
Duelist players are the biggest crybabies in the community. They're the most toxic. They're the most entitled.
It was really cool to see Terra just be back on the Star-Lord.
They're
It's
the
like
least
preseason
willing to
never
flex
ended. You just get to
or
continue this
play for
chapter,
the
which is
team.
amazing. But what's so scary about Na'Vi as well is this
I
Vanguard line.
just
And
almost
that
automatically don't
overlap,
take
where
their
I felt
take
like there was
seriously.
a lot of Rajaro on the Vanguard Deadpool, but now that Rajaro's kind of owning this Emma.
That was like a good running back.
On the hours he already put
That's a good way to put it.
Season on her really just toppled the Dino, and it really didn't actually come down to actually
Play this now with a 12 and 8 Daredevil.
the Dino,
Tough.
but just really good shield placements, even against the Eye of Agamotto from Rad. So I loved Rajaro's play here today.
And looking at some of these highlights from that.
Hey, you already know. I was literally watching Lejeune earlier. My boy Lejeune. Shout out to him. I think he's still streaming Rivals right now. He had a rank. He had a rank. He was playing a rank game, and there was one player. He was doing. They were mostly doing good, but they were having a little bit of trouble towards the end. And there was only, and I noticed immediately there was one teammate of his that was not doing as well as the others.
With Ducky, and you know, you sort of look at it as like, yeah, Ducky went down a lot, certainly in like
and
the first engagements. But
guess who it was?
More eliminations against
the DPS.
Right? He's playing Star-Lord
because it's always the DPS.
He's trying to go in onto the back line of Na'Vi. Not only is he not getting the picked,
had a 7 and 6 Punisher.
Result, right? So it feels like for Rad, like
doing nothing
like, out of sickness, like,
the entire round.
He's just getting absolutely like farmed on the Devil Dinosaur. He's been isolated, but that's to be expected. Like that's the negative to the characters that you have to.
As soon as someone suggests that they swap, immediately crashes out on the team.
Going down as a result, and Na'Vi just they pick their fights clinically. That's the main thing. It doesn't matter where your weakest.
They don't swap the third support.
We're gonna be having Jerky in for an interview the moment they
don't swap the tank.
Let's actually talk about it. We saw
stayed on DPS.
The Black Cat for a little bit here, and we're seeing so much creativity. What's standing out to you,
and they somehow they ended up winning though.
Pivoting to when they
and he cried that oh, he was high and
well,
it was his first game on, and getting at his teammates for calling him out, like, bro, you were selling, like, just swap.
Yeah, there were some good moments. I still
2-11 Squirrel Girl is diabolical.
And even it's not everyone going to be running the same thing, obviously, because pick bans, but every team really.
I feel like the MVP system gets worse every season. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Which was fine, but I also feel like this.
I think it's especially broken this season for Devil Dino. Like, it legitimately looks like it's rigged to not give Devil Dinosaur MVP.
Especially if you're running the Vanguard Deadpool and the Dino.
It looks like
because I've had a bunch of games on Devil Dino where I have the most final hits by a lot, the most damage, the most damage blocked, and I still don't get MVP. Like, it's crazy. I really appreciate the 5. You got Devil 7 First Sight. You getting 3 A's. Can't wait. 3 days. Is it that soon? Is it that soon? It's 100% rigged. I felt like the MVP system was already rigged, but it feels like it's rigged specifically not to give Devil Dino MVP. I just saw 007 actually announced they're doing a watch collab. You can get the same watch that Bond wears in the game for the low price of $9,600. You go 31 most damage assist. Nope. Yeah, it's weird. It's so weird. I don't. Like, the MVP system used to be like heavily favored towards damage and final hits. Now it just seems random. Like, I don't even know what's supposed to get you MVP anymore. I gotta get this rogue skin. I've been taking my time getting through the battle pass, but I'm definitely can't wait to get to this rogue skin. I wonder when the reviews for 007 are coming out. I imagine relatively early next week. Hope I get a review code, but launch code will be fine. I submitted for a launch code, but I hope I get a review code so I can play it a little earlier.
We have not seen her in game yet, but we have available in game for you the Penny Parker freshman costume. Yet another incredible Penny skin is available.
Do pro players
you
ever
all,
use Penny?
And quite frankly, it's gorgeous. Available from today all the way until June 19th.
I don't think I've ever
Jump
seen pro
into
players
game
use
right
Penny.
now. Get your hands on this incredible Penny skin, who, at least in the quick match, is quite effective against the Dino, because hitting them with the
Yeah,
side
wars like
fist
walking
is
bullseye for
quite
DPS you can't
effective.
dodge.
But
I think they need to
now
make better
let's talk
stats.
about the future. We are once again back with me.
I think they need to rework
Kiwi and Ryan Central as we get prepared
point
for
system,
our second
the point
series
gains
of
for ranked,
day.
for
It's
winning,
going to be the Lions
and definitely need to
Alter
make the
Esports.
stats, make better, more useful
We have
stats,
two teams who have played quite well during the preseason.
because they don't really
Now
show you,
other in stage one.
apart from the
This is
death
first
stat, it
match,
doesn't really
everyone's
show
been
you
working so hard
the
this
value
week,
that
trying to
people
figure
brought
out
to the
Dino,
role.
trying to figure out Black Cat,
Especially for
there's gonna
tank
be
players.
eviction bans. A lot of the players are saying that is the most important part, what you get to play in the game, Ryan. But the Lions look scary.
Like if you're
Very much
like
so.
if you're
This is
like
a
if you're
team I think
taking
that surprised
space,
a lot of people
if you
as
stall the
vision
cart,
in the preseason with being able to get through to play,
none of that's going to
having
show up
some
on the stats.
Really, just solid performances, like some dominant wins against teams that were.
But
also
it's what's
going
gonna
for a
win you the
playoff
game.
Position, but also just like players that are developing at a good rate. The main thing I suppose is here is like no longer like
For
vision,
solo
you've got
queue,
Lions,
Penny is a
you've got
must
some
in
of the
rotation.
change-ups as well. Like Ziad
Only
into the
because
roster,
only
he needs to
because
be
people
out,
don't
so
shoot the
pretty much
nest.
the same team as we saw last time.
And Lemon, talk to me about Alter. This is a team that came
Which is so
second in
funny.
MRC and had
What's
a
up?
pretty solid
What's up,
showing
Only
in the
Gaming?
preseason.
Yeah. I mean, Alter.
Game's been out
pretty
almost 2
consistent
years.
Preseason, not making it out of groups. Their only win, it was tough. It was tough.
No, still no one shoots the nest in Loilo. Just don't, they just don't do it.
Group, but they do add Frankie
Almost never shoot the
Boxing
nest.
as a new Vanguard joining this lineup. So I'm looking forward to seeing kind of how this team is going to gel together, because I think this is a fantastic meta for Team Captain as a Captain America player all around that brawl. Frankie Boxing most likely
Team
gonna be
Captain's
going
up?
on that Dino, really trying to expand his hero pool and also be known as something outside of the Angela OTP. He's really showed us how strong he is on the
Ooh.
Magneto and the
I'm locked in for this
especially.
match.
And from the
Team
scrims
Captain's
and what the
goated.
trials we saw from Alter, the communication structure on this team looks
Need to
so
play the
much
game.
better with
That'd
this
be nice too.
addition. So I'm excited to see.
They
how
have your
really
highlights, but
improve
not a
Alter
play of the
this
game.
season.
As am I. There is so much for us to see from there. We've seen a lot of potential from Frankie Boxing on some of their previous games that we've had the joy of casting, including when they were on Team Peps. But as usual, we start off with a domination map and a predetermined one at that. And Ryan, it's back to Celestial Hunt.
They're hiding in
Yeah,
the trap.
it's basically like the
I think
boiling pot. I
the-
think for EMEA,
the-
like
what
how
separates
really
the
are, like,
penny-
fundamentals, like, it has
the
some
normal
really good
pennies
places
from the
playing
great
more
pennies are
effectively,
the pennies that
everybody grouping up
are
on
able to
each
get
other's
value on
style,
attack
but
and
there are
defense.
some moments where you can dive. The problem, I think,
Like, if
for
you're on a
both
good
these
penny
teams is
map,
that
it's
Ultra
kinda- it's pretty
Response
easy
didn't
to
win a
set
single
up.
game of domination at all in preseason, and it was few and far between for Vision back then. Now Lions.
But when you're on
It was 0
attack,
and 2 on Celestial Husk. Both teams have not won on this
the
map
really
so
good
far this
penny
year.
players
One needs to
are really
change that.
good at
It's gonna change
flanking,
that.
finding like little spots to just annoy the back line,
Oh,
diving on
and
top
we're
of people.
ready. We're ready to get into this game already, and it's our second match out of the 3, and we're still continuing with Group A. And hey, Navi looked really good.
I usually
but
only
now
pull out the
Lions
penny
and
for
Alter
defense.
Kind of need to find their footing with their
On her good
roster
maps.
shakeups, if you will. And I think there's going to be a lot of eyes on someone like Whoops, who I think looks so well within a core of a team.
I do enjoy it.
Says just anything in a hit scan mechanical way, but Alter we're also.
I love it having the fourth web. It does make a nice little difference too.
Mantis at the time.
Yeah, I mean, I also think that like Zerx versus Whoops is a head-to-head.
You can
is a
really
good
lock
one
down
too.
the area.
It's easy to kind of just go a duelist versus a duelist in a head-to-head, but these are like two players that like have been building up from like MRCs previously. They're both from like the Middle Eastern region, so it's like these are players that like we need to start getting used to seeing them pop off a lot more, and we could see them.
If
like,
they don't swap the
either,
counter
like,
penny,
those
it's just
players
free.
Going to like bigger, like more established organizations, I suppose. Like, I'm not saying anything about like Ultra Esports in particular, but I mean more like these could be like just the household names of like duelist roles in the same way that Terra is. We just don't know that yet. The problem here is like, how much can you sort of build around
White
at
Fox.
this point? And I guess for me, it's like Monarch. Like he was a player.
White Fox is so good on dive.
Beforehand. Are they going to still commit to that on the side of Lions?
Team captain hovering Scarlet
Esports?
Witch is
Or are you
hilarious.
going to go for a bit more 2-2-2 and be a bit more offensive?
That's the thing, right?
All right, so they
like,
saved Dino.
Lions roster, such a young team too.
It's like a Gambit ban,
around there.
double
so
Gambit
like,
ban.
This is just the beginning of their career, but also how much experience comes into play and maturity. And when you have like high stakes, high pressure matches, when it's only a best of 3, there's only so much time to lock in.
I've been playing more support this season. I thought I was going to play a lot of tank this season, but
we'll see how
I don't know. Support players have gotten so bad.
Really also want to make their Arabic community proud of being an all Arabic.
I think I just find myself wanting to just lock in support, especially White Fox. White Fox is just gross this season.
Game, which would have made sense with the addition of Ziad that came in from MRC because he's a Vanguard player. One of the things that Gainer was saying in interviews is he's the only one that doesn't speak Arabic. So the communication coordination is hard. Like, the team speaks pretty good English, but naturally, when 5 of them all speak the same language natively, they're going to want to go for that. So I assume that Gainer would be out, but instead...
Literally, my first 2 games on White Fox this season, I didn't die once.
Really helped these guys perform.
Character just
Looking
busted.
At the draft, however, this is kind of what we expected it to be more like, right? Like Mantis and Luna taken out, more of a White Fox priority, so you don't have that team up with Luna, but Invisible Woman is going to be protected instead on the side of Lions, which are the top seed.
Which, like I've mentioned before, Invis is not as strong in the
She did not need any more buffs, but the buffs they gave her are insane. Like, she has so much survivability now when she goes into that, into the awakening form. Because now you don't even have to use your melee when you're in the awakening form. You can just go into it for a quick heal and a dash out of danger.
Have new additions to their Vanguard line, and we're entering a whole new world when it comes
Tell
to
people don't look for pockets, run.
It's going to be that last band of Invisible Woman. So you're right, one-sided, both teams having access to Dino.
No. Yeah,
really like
you definitely don't want to sit main and just heal bot as White Fox for sure, but it is a balance. Like, you want to start with your team, but then you immediately want to look for off angles, and if your DPS is flanking, you want to go and support them.
Invisible boundary on top of their backline because they're going to be like, oh,
and then use your TP to get back.
They're going to be slow. They're going to be caught out.
But it's so good.
That means that dive could be a little bit more like.
As long as you're aggressive with White Fox,
Lions team want to play dive. They
want to hard carry.
It's whether Ultra Esports try to dedicate to triple strategist more, or whether they want to try and go for something a bit more suited to brawl.
Yeah, my supports of choice this season are White Fox, Sue, Rocket, and Gambit if he's open.
Everything for their rosters. Now Ziad gets joined with a new core. Team captain, I mean, flex to literally every.
I prefer White Fox and Sue.
Wants to be able to stick to his comfort picks. I think that Frankie Boxing really just complements Team Captain really well and is able to step up as a very vocal player, which I think Ultra Esports need that kind of structure.
I did lose my first rank game on my ult when I started on White Fox, but she's so strong that we almost won, even though I had 2 throwers on my team.
But there was a lot of Angela from Frankie Boxing over on Peps on this map in particular too, where they played more of like an aerial combat, but this one,
and I got SVP, so I didn't lose anything anyway.
Hunkering onto the
on my
placement.
You
can sort of see that the rest of the Lions, Ziad is going to be playing alongside.
Then I won my next 3.
Like Teller that's going to be on the bench here. A bit of a change around, but Gainer is going to go and try and onto the dive.
All right, we got Dino on Dino action.
Black Cat, interested to see how he does.
The Dino, I mean, there's a style that the Captain America, where you're trying to be able to flank and to put pressure on the back line while the Dino really anchors
the Black Cat
objective.
just
So
got
this first cap is going to be very
nuked.
important while the Lions are already suffering a lot of damages. Rex is very low. Whoops is behind.
They actually have a really good
Star Lord.
Dino
This is his
comp,
moment to
team
shine
captain.
and also fade back into the shadows.
Oh, they both got Loki.
Made enough space.
They both got Loki to pair with the Dino.
First cap still being recontested, and that's the beauty of having Gainer on the Venom as that substitute now stepping in, backhands.
But having Captain America is going to
so
be
hard
big
to be able to
because they
nail
have that
down
extra
the
support
Loki,
ult.
but brought back to life thanks to the rocket.
Cloak is almost sank light.
Mostly left in a 6 versus 6, but now Rex finally gets executed. Such a victim of all this damage that Alter has
I feel like
been
Cloak
putting out.
and Dagger is still really
That's a
good,
cap now for Alter.
Yeah, they've gone for more like
but
offensive capabilities and no
I don't like them as
needed,
much
right? Like, they're
since
still
the meta
building
got
up
more
at the early
heavy
point, and
dive.
Neither team is running a Deadpool, so it's the fact that they're able to take this objective and be built up
But
a
if
good amount.
but if we're in like a brawl comp,
you've got a Mischief copy available.
thanks
for
to
Exo
Devil
2,
Dino, then
if he
yeah, I don't
wants
mind
to.
Cloak and
And then
Dagger.
the Freedom Charge, like 3 very good sustain ultimates. If the fight gets a bit too dicey, on
She's
point,
really
you can
good.
just play around
That
with
Terror
Devil
Cape is
Rampage.
so good.
Rex gets CC'd and stunned out from Monarch, who is going to be playing on this Phoenix, can disengage if he wants to, but both duelists having ultimates ready, looking to go for the picks.
And the extra health was already popped from Gainer, so he'll have to take a seat. Maybe Rex needs to pop the invisible boundary just to get them some real estate as Monarch lets it rain into the caves. Lions will be as ever so patient.
Didn't get
Invisible
anything off that
boundary
Phoenix
from the
ult.
QB copy as now the Star-Lord's on the hunt, and Gainer's already popped the extra health. Doesn't want to have to pop the
Star-Lord
ult.
definitely didn't need a
Rejoins
buff.
the team, and Alter
Like,
are
what were
just
they
playing
doing?
cat and mouse, and it's Lions that are looking like
Armani, my
prey.
goat.
As
Thank you for the
Woods from
5. You
above
wonder
will
if
keep Lions
there was a
trapped, and
limit
that invisible
on
boundary will not allow Lions to step forward towards the objective.
a limit on
Good
replaying
kidnap
007.
from Frankie, and Lions are really floundering on what
I don't know what kind of. There's never any
remove one of the strategists from
well, there's never any
ult,
limit on
especially
replaying a
also
game.
had ult.
But
So
if you're
Lions may have an
asking
opening
specifically
here.
about
Yeah, they might just, but it's
If
the
you
fact that
mean
this has taken so
to
long
ask
being a
specifically
big
about
dedication, if you're altered, it's like, hold off, we have a
post-game
Don't
stuff,
use it. We
like-
don't need to overtake onto
like
this fight
specific
anymore.
level replay
The
or
Lions, it
New
was
Game
the
Plus.
copies
I haven't
of
heard
the
anything
invisible
about it yet.
boundaries, but it was the nice adjust as the Endsog Inferno came out from Monarch. That's when Rex was able to put down his own invisible boundary.
I know
in the offensive
Capcom's
position, but also
games
allow his
always
team to
have
springboard onto the objective.
a lot
You
of
see just how
replay
much the
value,
Dino is so
like
pesky
New
pulling
Game
people out of
Plus,
those invisible boundaries too. Galactic Legend
extra,
now gonna use some lights
bonus
to see if
content
they
you can-
get
you
this
can
advantage
unlock.
a little bit longer. It has to be respected. The combination
Collectibles
copy even
and
is
stuff
gonna
like
go
that.
over onto the Yarn Amplifier, which means that there's a more offensive capability from Alter. Lions try to go for a pick, but they now have to disengage and they lose 2.
And they
So
just
I
pushed
will. I
away
do
the
wonder
Galactic
if they're
Legend.
going to
The
have
win
that.
condition from
They're going to have New
Lions,
Game
really
Plus
good
for
bubbles and
007
just protection
since
from
it's
Alter, and even
since
despite
it's
Rex
more
being
like
over
a
the Invisible
narrative
Woman's shield,
action
but the
game
Galactic Legend Alter, they just bunker up and
than like
on the
an
objective,
RPG.
75%, one last
I can
fight.
see it having
Two
like mission
duelist
replay,
ultimates from the Alter side.
but I don't know if
So
they'll
Woods
have a New Game
ready
Plus.
to greet them at the
We'll see.
front, and an ult. And even an
We'll find
alternate
out soon.
angle, I should say, from Whoops. That has been really his style. Asadam won't have the ult, but we'll have to check him at the door, mark him as best as possible. We'll see where the Phoenix lands, and it gets Lions nice and low and hesitant on how to step forward. As now you got that initial copy, QB deciding what he wants to do. The invisible boundary will claim half the objective. Lion allowing
that
the
Phoenix almost got
Lions to
deleted.
stand tall as best as they can, and Frankie is too slow than the
All right,
midst of
Stellar
that.
ult.
Whoops is going to try and find a trade. He's above the strategist, but now a second invisible boundary has been surmounted, and lines should be stable. And
down goes Star-Lord.
Yeah, it gets picked off at the end there too. Now Lions having control again. A good fight in the end, and you build it up another Galactic Legend for Satam. Don't really have this strategist ultimates. That's the problem. You've used both the copy and the invisible boundary itself. So now it's just for Alter. You're at 98%. You're able to just go for like one team fight. There's not going to be enough sustain. Again, it's still dicey with Death.
Yeah, team captain's still in a good
He wants to
position.
be consistently disengaging and getting in and out as and when he can. But now Whoops seeing if he could just try to go into this backline.
They got Rocket ult, and they got there's the Cap ult.
Oh, and it's so tough to be able to grab a Star-Lord, especially with those iframes. And man, Captain is sick of these clothes. He's sick of your backline and Alter. They just surround them.
You're going
pick
crazy
them
with those
apart.
animation
And the
cancels.
Lions are looking like Cubs out here. They still have control to the point, but
The
really
new,
for not
the new
much
way
longer.
to
Gainers
melee on
lateral
Cap
will
since
mean
they
will succumb
mostly
to
nerfed the
Cap.
animation cancel.
Gainer needed to maybe keep contesting until a portal from QB comes through. And they now, okay, we'll have to swap some people around to get the double strategists, and Sadot at a distance will give a kicking chance to the Lions. But this Dino has been a problem.
Thunder Lizard.
Alter can keep thriving thanks to this Vanguard that can anchor as best as they can, and man, the peels from Rex and Ziad pretty solid, and now Frankie has to fall back to the rest of Alter. This is
yeah, the Paul has even been dedicated to now.
Got the portal back on the point.
Some space like Lions having the point flipped over in favor of Volta means that they weren't able to progress it to 99%. So there's a bit of a window here. Yam Amplify is going to be used from Hatra to try and go in for this fight.
Rocket is up.
Building an Eye of Agamotto at a pretty good pace. You have got a copy as well.
We might get an eye. We might get a big Eye of Agamotto play here.
After this, I believe. So yeah, this is just constant like damage that's being put out. It's still, however, Zerx that is able to get the pick. He can't have the end song to try and fight for it, but Alter have given and respected a lot of space.
And this damage boost from the Rocket is so strong against these melee Vanguards. You really need to have a duelist take care of that, which Alter don't seem to have the option to. But whoops with the Galactic Legend, zones out the Lions.
Oh no!
Crazy how much better Rocket is this season.
Invisible boundary has been removed, and so have the Lions, as Alter will claim the first round of Celestial Husk.
I mean, that's one thing that you can say about like Frank.
Thank you so much for the follow, Marnie.
There's an invisible win on the other team.
Been watching since last year. All these games are waiting for her finally here.
Just grab her, take her out, like
not all. I appreciate you. Not all my games, unfortunately. Some of my games keep getting delayed. And I'm actually sad about it.
Very little time. Not too panicked.
Glad we're getting Wolverine, and very excited for the state of play. But I was really looking forward to Undefeated Genesis. That was like my most anticipated game this year.
Will not have the resources to keep up with it, and if they do, we know how to
even more than Wolverine in GTA 6. And I just found out that it got delayed to 2027, and I'm sad. And then Rise of Hydra still hasn't announced anything yet.
And these moments of knowing when to put the pressure.
But it's still been a really good year for gaming. Like, I'm really enjoying it. I've really enjoyed the games I played so far.
So Lions, they have a lot of damage though.
Love what we got from Capcom. Really like Resident Evil Requiem,
and we've seen a lot of these
Pragmata.
melee specialists really try to own the Black Cat, but QB
I gotta go back to Crimson Desert now that they got all these updates, but it didn't live up to my expectations. But they did add a lot of new stuff, so it was still pretty solid. I really enjoyed Mixtape. I gotta finish that. Really enjoying Lego Batman. This is a great year for games.
Makes it now the third elimination that this Black Cat has, and Alter have to pay attention.
Ooh, that went down.
One in the end for Lions. Alter like building some progression here, so they might just stall this out a little bit more.
They still got the point.
Inferno's a heck of a dedication though to just try to like keep this going more of like a disengage, but it's going to be right into the center of the fight.
Ooh.
You got the Venom that's going to eat up. The Feast of the Abyss is going to be used.
That Venom all is nasty.
IGL pick himself another 2. It's Jeff is needed, but the counterattack has come in, and whilst Lions have flipped this back, there are a couple of players down. And now, like, Alter might be able to get a win. The problem is that they're not the paciest kind of composition when they have the Devil Dinosaur to go in first. So they have to try to, like,
it's really good in Devil Dino.
In this fight. And the dive is really good from Gainer in the backline. It's just whether he can get out or not.
Well, Ziad is by himself. No, okay, he's got QB at the end, and can't underestimate what the Jeff can do to hold back against the dive. And team captain, he will be relentless and try to suffocate these strategists as
here
QB
comes the
has
Jeff
to fade away. And now
Jeff about to swallow.
Who he can throw off the map, while Sadot,
he missed.
The big MVP for the Lions and continues to be what strikes gold for this Lions squad to force a round 3. Alter seemingly dead in the water at this point.
They win the fight there.
Towards some ults, and Monarch's gonna make the swap.
Yeah,
so team captains, they're gonna have Rocket ult. They're gonna have Star-Lord. They're gonna have Loki.
Shenanigans combination in play. And really, like QB, he's the main voice on this team. He's the one that was being called out as being the difference maker to go for these like good timings.
Like almost halfway to Daredevil.
They have control of the high ground now, so Alter have to try and respect that. And now it's a good portion of percentage that they've been able to try and get onto the board. Alter having good ultimates, Yan Amplify, Galactic Legend, probably the combination they're looking for. One's going to be used first, but they immediately use Monarch on the other side.
Big pick for Star-Lord.
But the BR back is going to bring in Monarch, so the player advantage is going to be on the side of Alter.
All right, let's see if Alter can be the kings of the hill, but they only have 50%.
Phoenix to
and
amplifier.
Lions one fight away. They slam down with Zerg, so now it's his time to show up. And Whoops has so much on his plate, and his.
But then the Loki copies the amplifier.
And the Death Note and all of Alter are committed to the plan. And Exo
Christmas Diddy.
Damage boost should be enough. As now people are getting tossed off the map, but just not enough of a throw from the Dino. But
Dino throwing people off the map. Holy.
And send Lions packing in this fight, but there's still a gap in the score that Alter have to overcome.
Yeah, it's how much that they can hold on here. Like for ultimates, are you going to try to change up anything more? Only like QB switching over towards the Rocket now, so you don't have that team up with Jeff and Venom, but what you do have is more some like offensive capabilities. They're also maybe feeling the burden now, Monarch being over on the Daredevil, that distance is being like closed up, that they need to go for something that's going to be a little bit more pacier and disengaging these fights. But Alter building up percentage, they have to hold on, let the Devil out. It's going to be used.
Devil's let out.
In the engagement, but it's a reset. It has to be for Lions. It's crazy. Monarch has cut through all of them.
Oh my God, the productivity.
They're going crazy.
There he's down. Alter to make sure as soon as Lions come out of their den, they will regret it. And that just buys only a little bit of time for Alter and fairly inexpensive.
Now, how much of this fight is going to keep going Lions' way?
Here comes a cap ult.
To try and engage onto this, and now the percentage is getting a little bit more precarious. You've got Freedom Charge,
Thunder Lizard,
Rampage that's just going to allow basically this whole running.
He's just Devil Dinosaur is farm. He's got 1,300 HP.
On the Venom, it's too much to deal with, and now it's 85% for Alter.
Galactic Legend, the reses, will it be enough? Lions, oh, Frankie does manage
Devil Dino is so good.
You can't say the same for the rest of Alter.
Such a fun character.
This is at 92%. They're now just trying to sustain on the point until a portal comes through.
Can't wait for a Cyclops though.
Alter can win it out here, but it's just not going to be the case. Team Captain's looking for a portal play, while the Lions have the rest of Alter stuck at the entrance. Here's a portal to trap Lions forward, as Rex may have an invisible boundary to bail out Ziad if he needs it. They'll maybe try to conserve it for round 3.
Thunder Lizard.
Can't blame them. Lions profit and Alter are drowning.
How much can Lions now actually turn this point now? Alter going for the portal play. It was just in time, but Lions having everything set up. And the problem is once they have that positioning, it's so hard to move this absolute colossus on the objective that is Devil Dinosaur. And the way that people were able to play around him, it was just a pace of fights, right? It was just like Alter trying to go very early to make sure that Lions couldn't reset, but they were still able to engage in this fight. And it shows that the fight went so well for Lions, Lemon, because they have 3 ultimates going into this round.
Yeah, I like that.
Pretty evenly matched so far.
Invisible boundary and just kind of let Ziad run the ship. And it was going to be between Gainer and Teller. And I was maybe expecting Teller originally. Not that Gainer's not a good brawler, but Teller just has more time with this core. And also had a really good Magneto the few times that we did see him, especially having a high win rate on Celestial Husk. But Gainer has been that person that could delay.
We got a White Fox swap.
Much. And Sadot is solo winning fights. Eliminating 3 people, 2 of them being strategists on the Alter side. So Alter need a response, and maybe it has to do with the Vanguard shifting their playstyle and attention to this Black Cat.
So they're going more dive.
Able to find, like, how much he's not being able to be punished, really. Like, it's been hard, like, trading map rounds either side, so it's not as if Satam is just, like, only a couple of eliminations against him. But you're right, it's how much he can actually get away with it. Monarch is at least a little bit better to get that information and work alongside it. Yeah, an amplifier though, is going to be used early from like Hatcher at this point. You've got the White Fox now, and so you don't have like the copy. Has to be a little bit more selective on the timing. But
Black Cat going in.
The namesake himself maybe gets a bit more than he bargained for, but he's not actually giving up these engagements. Now that your amplifier is dedicated, immediately taken out from the Ensel Inferno.
And the damage is so scary, and Rex will just try to keep them afloat and steer this with the invisible boundary. Sadot towards the back. Alter, they really are terrified of this. They changed their strat line, but the result stays the same.
Still got wiped.
Sadot all over Alter, and the first point to Lions.
See how much more stall Alter not going to have the portal play to go for, so it is just like the extra like.
The Black Hat's ult with support. If you have support from your team, it's GG.
Work together now.
It's so strong.
Maybe a little bit of rust, a bit of nerves potentially. Certainly for Ziad, that's coming from playing MRC for the Lions into stage 1 alongside some of these other players that have been pretty much like the building blocks for the region and the scene as a whole. So now Lions holding a sort of deep hold, getting good information off of the Flaming Orb from the Black Cat. Have decided to try and disengage, knowing that stuff like Let the Devil Out and Kamiho is ready.
And also
the Devil's let out.
Changing over to the Bucky to try and pull the Black Cat, pull anyone, maybe even Gainer before this extra health does diminish. And Monarch, he's sick of their games, and he puts them in jail. And Alter, they are still trying to flip the point, though, despite at least getting the Vanguard elimination.
Nice
They're
comeback.
so worried about this Black Cat. And Monarch, he swapped to this for a reason, to be able to detect where that invisible cat has gone. While the rest of Alter, they put their focus forward. From front to back they go, as Ziad hopes to extend
very
what
smart to
little
counter
they
Black
have,
Cat. Ooh,
which
they got
ends at
Bucky too.
53 for Lions.
Now the swap over again. The Lions not having much more else. Freedom Charge Kamiho still able to sort of sit in for like Alter Esports now. Satam having to completely disengage. Being able to find a lot more space, and like on this map in particular, like getting that information of where these like engagements are going to come in from is going to be like major. So now Monarch has good control of like exactly where this dive is going to come in. Gainer has had a lot of like pressure going on to get those timings.
Venom won the
The
dive.
rest of his team onto the high ground, however.
Kind of missed the dive there, but
Missed it. That's why I don't like Venom. Like I want to play Venom,
just sends the Black Cat,
but
and is
his
always
kit is just so
fighting with them.
clunky.
How can Alter match band for band? But they just can't. They're being suffocated. Ziad is in their face, and I mean, there's only so much Alter can do. Then escape. The res beacon will be also taken out, so Alter will have no forgiveness.
I really like Venom,
And
but
Lions fully
he just feels
take
so
over.
awkward
They
to
still have
play.
to flip the point, and that will mean Lions will get the lead here shortly.
Now, seeing if there's going to be a little bit more of a fight, not really. Like Alter now might be starting to stress a little bit more. It's going to be like getting onto now that the portal might be in play again, but like how many ultimates could you sort of work on in this one? You got Yan amplified, it might be able to help in these instances. Comboing out with Frankie boxing, it's very close to having a Devil's Rampage. Feels like now for like Zerk's Song Inferno, he knows exactly what the target he needs, but it's going to be a hard area to try and take this. Just trying to burn as many resources as you can, go out into the open, make sure you set up these crossfires as this front to back from Alter Esports is going to be a bit more boxed in. Suddenly you're looking at the
interesting.
Oh, and they were trying to mark where
Versus
Team Captain
Phoenix
was going, already
and
at half health.
Black Cat ult
Zerx
and
is
Rocket
just
ult.
making sure that Team Captain suffers every step he takes. Lions at now 90%. They have two strat. They have, I mean, 4 ultimates. So it will be at the ultimate clash to determine the map, with Alter starting off well, but it matters who finishes as the invisible
Phoenix
boundary
counters the
is
rocket.
placed. Alter just don't have anything to really match that.
I think this is
Self-sustaining,
GG.
The Dino can only do so much, and Sadot does everything once again for Lions.
Black
The
Cat
Black
just
Cat
farms.
swaps since round 2, the obvious MVP here of Celestial Husk, and is just uncontested. Alter have the Black Cat available, by the way, but that was not in their wheelhouse for the first week of Ignite.
Tough. They didn't have a
Lions
Black Cat
will claim
player.
Celestial Husk.
It was such a good showing from like Satam. Like we sort of set up that like Zerk's looking at him in particular as like a duelist. Certainly now that we're out of this like Elsa meta clearly.
I'm surprised they didn't try to
Now,
counter the
like,
Black Cat with
it's
triple
sort of,
support.
What is he going to be doing? But it was Satam that sort of took a lot of the attention. And Black Cat, it really feels like from talking to the teams that everybody was keeping their cards close to their chest. 42-5 when it came to like the eliminations he was able to get. He was a constant pain in the backside for Alter to deal with. And even when we saw Alter taking the objective,
because all Black Cat's counters
Lions
pretty much
really
were
like
still
to play
open.
dive. They really like to play at a fast pace. And that addition of Ziad and the way that this team is built from what they did as visions in
Black Cat
season continues.
is really
Alter
tough to play in the
still
triple
haven't picked up
support
a domination
and
map.
really tough to
It's
play in the
still not
Namor.
happening for them.
Well, Lions were able to overcome what started on round 1 and turn it into a victory, but Alter will have our choice of map next in this best of 3, and we'll find out what that is after the break.
But they got farmed.
우리에게 달려서 그 세계우면 눈이 부신 모든 순간들 지켜내야 해 내게 좋아지려면 꿈꿔도 만나 그대들의 승리와 명예 The weight of it both the world is in our hands 작은 걱정 따윈 던지고 최선을 다해 춤을 춰봐 어둠이 떠날 때까지 아름다운 꿈을 밟고 봐 우리에게 달려서 그 세계우면 좀 있다 날 때까지 세게 오면
So catchy. I'm gonna go get a drink while I'm waiting.
I knew it would happen.
Yeah, there it is. It happened once.
I
Sorry.
knew it.
I was muted. Sorry, audience. We've seen some incredible Devil Dinosaur plays, but you can join them in the Savage Lands with the Savage Adventures skins available from today. Skins for Lunar Snow, Hela, and Ultron. This is a wonderful set of skins, and there's, as usual, so much amazing stuff in Marvel Rivals for you to jump on in and play your character how you want to play it. A incredible win for the Lions in their first game of the stage. And Lemon, Satam on the Black Cat. What a revelation.
And this is why this team identity matters and who is putting the hours where. It's not just about Dino supremacy, but the real line on this field. And it's Satam on the Black Cat swapping out to round 2. Just, solo eliminating a bunch of strategists. I did like in round 3 that Alter brought out the Daredevil to try and be able to scan for the Black Cat and just mark it. You don't always have to execute the Black Cat to have an impact. Just making sure that she is watched at all times so you can communicate when she's engaging is still very valuable to Alter, but in the end, Satam was, 21 final hits.
Yeah, Ryan, if we look at the Black Cat, we're seeing a lot of use.
21 finals is crazy.
Them using the Daredevil to try and track them. Black Cat does do the same job with a little bit less sustain, but with more flexibility.
Yeah, if
Give
can
you
get
drops,
the
take 'em.
and get the cash in order to get
I don't want 'em.
just put them in a pocket. It's
Actually,
gonna
I
go
do.
through the walls and give you that information. So it really is the fact that
I am a
it's
drop
like
collector.
having the least casualties for your team as Black Cat is kind of scary, I guess, if you're Ultra Esports, because you would expect that character to show up more.
I want all the
draft
drops.
to get rid of them. Is it really that much of a focus for you? Because it was left completely open, looking at the top of the screen with the scoreboard and stuff. So now I'm really wondering exactly how Alter are going to try and adjust to this. They do have the map choice, so it's going to be Convergence. It is going to be Convoy, and I think it's Central Park that they're going to be picking.
Yeah, that's gonna be good as we get into our picks and bans. I think it's gonna be an easy adaptation.
Surprised
for a
you're not
team like
playing
Ultra,
Lego
like,
Batman
oh,
right
Black
now.
Cat is a problem. Guess what we can do?
Jalia.
We could just
It is launch
ban
day.
it, and Hall of Jalia will be the choice of Alter going forward. And again, having a really large map where you can activate that Captain America around, make sure he has all the space in the world, which also means more space for any kind of flanker. So it's gonna depend on who's gonna have the double ban initially, because both teams really prioritize the Gambit.
And so, like, I'm curious. I guess, like, one of the things for, like, Jalia, like, from what we saw on, like, the last map especially, like, you look at some of the other, like, engagements, like Central Park, like, that was, like, the most popular convergence map to sort of choose from. Convoy, it's going to depend entirely, like, on the teams on how they work it, but it does feel a little bit like, okay, do you want to sort of keep committing to stuff like the Ultron that we saw beforehand? Like, you're looking at a lot of the strategists being banned out and, like, the Dino being protected. At least here, you've got the long sight lines that you can play something a bit different away from these closed-in quarters that Dino wants to be in.
And I just didn't want to not shout out Zerx as well, because my voice going out already. 34,000 damage on the Phoenix. You have to write to
Protecting
home.
Mantis
You gotta write
now.
home to mom about that one, because
Double
21
Gambit
final
ban?
hits from a Black Cat comes from that initial damage that the Phoenix is able to provide from Zerx. So I think that duo of duelists looked really amazing on the Lions side, and if they can keep setting each other up for success, that's going to be nice. But what is going to be the situation with Alter? Are they going to triple strat whoops, or are they going to have Monarch on the Daredevil?
One-sided Dino is going to be in the hands of Lions, though, so more ferocious animals and not quite like an evolution chain, but one-sided Mantis, which, yeah, it feels like for Alter Esports, especially when you have a player like Monarch that was playing a lot of the
One-sided
triple
Mantis
setups
versus
beforehand,
one-sided
like he was
Dino.
on the Ultron and Mantis, he's going to be on it here, means that you have got the option, no matter what other strategies
Triple
get
support
taken out in the
Mantis.
draft, you
Triple
still
support
have,
Mantis
like,
Ultron?
the combinations in play. Ultron's going to make sure that he can't like feast and do a lot of damage in these instances, and Luna's going to be banned out for Alter Esports in case there's a White Fox protect. Lions, yeah, feeling like the Black Cat could potentially be
Black Cat
more of
protect.
something to aim for, going to protect it.
I'm very surprised Alter are not banning the Black Cat here. They must be very confident that from map to map, she is going to be her weakest on Hollow Joliet, and maybe the map pick is sort of that pseudo discouragement of the Black Cat, but they're still going to protect it on the other side just to make sure, and you're going to have the one-sided Dino on top of that. And Alter, a big strength of theirs has been around the Dino, and I know someone like Frankie is
Venom
still
ban.
trying to be a flexible Vanguard, but clearly a big boon to this team has been improving their comm structure and hoping that they keep their heads in check, as dropping that first map must be pretty frustrating considering it was such a strong start for Alter on round
Is that
one,
Luna
but
protect?
ultimately falling after the next two rounds.
I was going to say, like, the protect over onto, like, Luna here means it has to be a White Fox, like, ban to sort of finish it out. You also have Venom taken out, so Gainer's not going to have access to one of his, like, staple characters, but also a character that is very good on this map, as we saw very briefly from, like previous engagements on Jalia. Again, thinking of the likes of Trust Me, even though he didn't play it last time. But it does mean that you do have stuff like the Luna Emma combination. And I think if you have teams like prioritizing like Devil Dinosaur, like anything that's going to be a little bit more like try to get into your backline, there's a lot that team up can bring together.
It should be interesting.
This will be potentially the final clash between these two teams for the beginning of Group A, as it is series point in favor of the Lions. And wondering also, has the Vanguard changed? The Vanguard line changed at all? It's really nice to be able to have these substitutes. We kind of saw it during the preseason, being able to interchange people in and out, especially if you have specialists or just different people that specialize also on different game types. Sometimes
So you
have
put
your
the mag in the
domination
bag,
build
okay.
players and otherwise that. But this is the Alter playground in terms of map choice, so we'll see them set the tone on offense.
Loki.
Oh, we haven't seen much Magneto. I can see Frankie boxing
Alright, so
on
they
it here,
went-
which is like something that he did play a lot of. Like his main character
White
that he was played
Fox.
for like minutes played was Angela, and Angela just doesn't seem to be like even contested when it comes to like Vanguards to work with. But
So,
switching away
Sue,
from the
White
Venom
Fox,
has to,
Jeff,
who's going to be on the high ground that
Black
Justin was on
Cat,
earlier to sort of
Tankpool,
get this
Dino
information. Taking a few
versus
fights,
Phoenix,
but Frankie
Mantis,
Boxing is gonna go in
Loki,
for that combination and triple
Emma,
not even
Venom,
triple strategist
Luna.
actually 2-2-2, but just with the Mantis Luna, that's a lot of like speed boost to go in for these engagements. And Frankie Boxing team
That's
captain
triple.
on the attack, looking to go for the dive.
So Luna, Mantis,
so far so stable.
Luna, Mantis, Loki.
Again, we're really surprised to see
That's
as
a lot
much
with the
Vanguard
Phoenix. That's a lot of
Vessel as
damage.
we have, but Frankie's also trying to scale up the energy, and you have to be really careful how you play Emma in this meta, especially against any kind of charm or things that can pull you out of position. You're gonna also be the main shield provider, so Alter having to fall back on something that's not the Dyna. We'll see if that will still be a boon of theirs, as Alter at least are cemented on the point, working on that first pick, and also with the ice wall with the Luna team up,
Pushing back the
the
Dino.
off some much needed
Emma
heals
put
from
so
Ziad
much
and
pressure
the
on the
rest,
Dino because she
allowing
could just
Wolf now
farm
to just poke and
her beam.
prod as Lions
Keep it at 100%.
are so far away from the point. Alter able to just keep the poke on, but Lions hope to deny this final tick, but they just have no sustain on this front line. Ziad is basically by himself, and Gainer is elsewhere, and Lions need a Vanguard line to keep on this objective, or Alter
Down goes
is
the
just gonna
Dino.
cap in front of them. And macro-wise, Alter, all the damage is in their favor, and Lions are cowering in their dens.
Now these fast like 0.1
Easy.
takes are gonna be the death of me, but not the death I think of like Ziad that was able to survive for so long. Just the amount of
Yeah,
healing
Black Hat is
went
really
into
strong
Zergs means that there is an It's Jeff available.
until
but
you go triple
how
support.
useful it's going to be on this part of the map, hard to really get a gauge. Also trying to like close the distance now onto the high ground as team captain using this one-sided Venom to his advantage. Is there going to be anybody that's like potentially isolated to dive in on? Not quite, but you've taken pretty much all of this second checkpoint, and Lions have to use some big bits of kit to try to break out of it.
And EXO is usually the Luna player on this team, so Monarch will be owning that to try and have a freeze onto Sadot when he does come in. This has been the answer for Alter. Just adjust their
Venom with the
composition.
peel.
They don't need to ban it. They
Black
already
Hat
know
shut
what
down by the
kryptonite
Loki
is.
lamps.
Sadot has to fall back out of the fight for now, so 6v5 temporarily for Alter, as team captain still waiting for the moment to maybe ult himself, and there's someone on the flank. Alter has to pay attention, and now you have the Soul Resurgence. No Dino, one less Vanguard for the Lions crew, as the invisible boundary will be what keeps the space for this
Here comes the
defense.
Here
And
comes the
Alter
Venom.
hope to drag them all out of cover. The Emma Charm claims a bunch, but
It's nobody
Sadot
mind
goes
control.
unnoticed and eliminates two, including the Loki, who had a dupe. Alter were really depending on this win condition to cross the threshold, and now Alter have to reset.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, they've managed to reset and still have like Rage of Ultron. It's crazy that they didn't dedicate something like Rage of Ultron is so good in just any moments. Like you can't really get the timing of it wrong. Whether it's offensive or defensive, they had it. They were just like, we don't really need it to actually break through here. But Freedom Charge, Calling Card, Rage of Ultron
We're
are
gonna
all
have-
available now. But
So it's
also,
gonna be
this
Rage
is
of
where they
Ultron
struggled on
versus
domination on
Loki
Celestial
ult.
Husk. It's like, okay, what's going to be the difference maker?
'Cause they have
Can you
Black
rely
Hat.
on, like Whoops being the one to do that
They have-
now that you're fighting
Lions have
triple
big ult
surges?
advantage.
Like,
They
you
got
sort of
the
build it
cap.
into it.
They
You've
got cap and
inspiration
Ultron
from the
ult.
Mantis, but
That's
that's
basically
not
two
really gonna be
support
enough
ults.
damage boost now, and then you've got the copy to try to go for something a little bit more with the Soul Resurgence from Exo. Right now the dive is attempted, but immediately Team
then the
Captain
Black
has to try
Adam.
and reset, and Lions are going in for the kill.
Yeah, if you can't maintain that 100
You gotta
Emma
farm
energy,
that
you need
Star-
to
Starlord's
swap.
gotta
You're just
farm
not
ult.
going to be as impactful. So the Magneto hoping to enable as best as he can and be that
Alright.
stable force, but just get
Alright, he copied
suffocated
Mantis.
as now the rest
Gets
of
countered by
Lions
Cap.
just run through Alter, while the Venom really can't do much about this. Gator is just a champion, and Alter are just heading for the hills. And now you could try to hit a sleep, you could try to hit a freeze, but
Still didn't use
Lions,
Ultron.
they're the ones owning this fight.
Still didn't use Ultron and Black
Some
Hat.
picks for
Oh, but
Ultra, like, this
Black
might
Hat
be a
got
bit of
picked
an
though.
overstretch for Lions if they're not careful, but it's again like you've got Rage of Ultron. They're not panicking. They lose their Black Cat. Whatever. Like we're 5 versus 6. We can just hold off. We know how to play around the objective. We don't need to panic. We can take our time. But Rex still holding on to it. Like it's him going under a lot more pressure, able to sort of dash out here. Now Calling Card's going to be used. Distance away, but it's going to be quick.
All right, here comes the Black.
Went
for the Black Hat up, but then Star-Lord. Star-Lord got him.
Oh, I like this peeling Star-Lord as well to try and deal with the double flankers of the Lions, and now Alter can set their attention forward, while Zerx maybe wants to grab that Star-Lord, and that still seems to be the case. The iframe perfectly timed from Whoops.
Wow, what
and
a
he'll
counter.
Still be in the equation. Soul Resurgence to push Alter over the edge. Maybe Lions off of it, but the invisible boundary should be enough healing, and Alter just will not be able to find that invisible woman around the corner, but they'll full send the
Got the
house.
Luna.
It's Monarch with the fate of both worlds to give Alter Alter may be a winning fate, but they only have Exo secondary, as now the Mantis is not here anymore. Lions have the respawn advantage. They just need to rely on Ziad to keep contesting, while Lions just make sure to keep themselves afloat. Alter don't want to overextend, and now they just have too many split objectives, and Alter were 4 meters away, and they fail.
Damn.
Alter choosing to attack
So
first
close.
too, right? So like, yeah, they've managed to sort of run out of steam at this point. Lions holding on for like dear life.
Lions are going to have the capital
set up now with the Ultron. It's Saturn that's just that sole duelist. So there's just so much like sustain.
They're going to have Lions are going to have Alters are going to have Star-Lord,
with a Sadot seduction or one of these dives to
Venom, Emma.
You can see the team captain is like toying with the idea, waiting for people to be in position. You have to look at what's having a Galactic Legend. It's that or the Silent Seduction. It has to be it.
Back on that, and you need someone
the
to
Venom
go
out.
the team captain. He can't die by himself, and now Alter will follow
Snow
through.
Bunny
They
mind
pull the
control.
Dino in, and still not enough, only at half health, and Alter have set themselves up to push the cart to the end, but Gainer is relentless against these strategists. That's why
All those
Exo's on
Loki
the
clones.
to just make his
Then there's the
job
Star-Lord ult.
miserable. The dupe comes out from Exo. Whoops is in the back line. Can't get enough of limbs. Lions are still healthy,
Star-Lord
and the rest of the ult
couldn't
come
get
out
any
from the
picks.
defense, and it's overtime. Alter need this, or this is just not going to be a healthy enough of a push. At least the Emma is at 100 energy. Whoops needs to fall back, and Rex of all people has to be the one that sends the Star-Lord packing.
It sends the
And
Mantis.
Lions, they just have more sustain, and Alter are
They could-
out of ultimate
Oh, no.
options. It has to be heroics from Whoops or the rest
They
of
gotta-
the
they gotta come out
Alter
clutch
to
here.
finish this once and for all, unless Sadot can 1v6 yet again.
They got it.
But there's always an answer. The peeling Emma and Alter send it to point B.
Managed to clear
Ooh,
it
that
all
was
up,
close.
But Satam not using the calling card is a big moment. The visible boundary also saved. Lions knew that the fight was going to be lost. It was just whether they could force out any other ultimates that they had in hand. But Alter dealing well with it nicely.
That was
Frankie
big.
Boxy diving in with the Silent Seduction. It forces out a great ultimate from Gainer with the Freedom Charge. But it's just how the rest of this fight was able to sort of go in. Like Whoops is looking really good, has a lot more pressure on him. And
Now they're gonna
Satam
have-
now managing to sort of sneak in behind. He's just be
They're gonna
completely
have
ignored, I
Black
think, from,
Hat,
like, the Venom at this
but they
rate.
got the
But
Luna
now
to
Dev's
counter.
gonna come in on the calling card. He finds the
Oh,
first target on
they don't
top.
Luna. Star-Lord
So
immediately goes
far
down.
forward to just play off of the dive from team captain, but the Star-Lord is
There's
so
Luna.
vulnerable outside of those iframes. Saddam with a good awareness at that point, but Alter have something more up their sleeve. It's redemption and it's revenge. The fate of both worlds against the invisible boundary keeps this at a stalemate, while Gainer will be warded away from the Alter strategist line.
Now,
They got Snow Bunny mind control.
The invisible boundary, they have to give it up because of this Silent Seduction going to cut through the team. The fact that there's no like barriers that are going to stop the Silent Seduction means that like the fall off range is a lot better too from the damage it's able to do. It just means that Lions have to sort of fall in line with what Frankie Boxing wants to do as the Emma Frost. Buddy Barrier is going to be used in the Rage of Ultron. It's the counter attack with 5
Rage
seconds
of Ultron.
in overtime. Immediately, Whoops is going to bring out the Galactic Legend to try and counter the get
Ooh,
set
big
at the
Star-Lord
line.
pick.
And Rex was focusing on using that Rage of Ultron to heal his team and to make sure they were still up against the Galactic Legend. Makes it only a limb ultimate for the duelist, but Alter, what they've gained is so much more important. The space,
So
the
much
cooldowns
space.
out of the Dino, Ziad on his last legs. You really need to maybe finish off some of these.
Jeff
heroes,
Swallow,
but
Jeff Swallow
hey,
3.
You got Gainer, or at least you got actually three strategists from Alter out of the fight. That is insane from Zerx. We never get to see him on the Jeff. And now Alter need to regroup, and they still are standing minus one of their vanguards. At least getting towards the end is good enough. The Soul Resurgence copy against Lions
Dino.
respawn advantage, and the Dino that is immovable. Alter just don't have enough damage against this.
The frenzy,
They don't have enough
like,
burst.
even Frozen. It's back to the Ice Ages for Ziad, but
Look
Alter
at
being
stop.
forced off of the point right
Ooh,
at
that's
the
tough.
end. It's similar to what we've seen on
They had to go
already with
triple-
the one game that we've seen.
they had to go
in stage
triple
one,
to
just
counter-
the fast first point take. Point 2 being stalled out for eons, eras.
The Black Cat, but they
And
didn't have the.
now
But
Alter's
they don't
trying
have.
to push
They didn't
it
have
as
the
far as they could
burst.
possibly go. But it's the fact that these fights just never
For the
certainly
Dino.
towards the end, like the fights just felt never ending. Like it felt like, okay, this is sort of the end. Everything's calmed down. Never mind. The Black Cat has just dove in and
Low
like,
key,
there's
they-
another,
they should go
counterattack of
Punisher.
mines.
Low
We
key.
knew that they were going to play at pace. In fact, it was one of the things that they were kind of getting caught out with in preseason. Just they were playing a little bit too fast, almost a little bit too aggressive and too greedy for picks instead of
Low
trying
key.
to pace up these engagements. here, it's the fact that they can still do it on defense, and Alter just couldn't break through. You need to find like
Solo is
that,
always
lead
great,
flow
obviously,
mentality
but
when you're playing the triple strategist, and at least
not as great without the Gambit ult.
It's just like,
and I feel like Punisher solves their dino problem.
And it's such a mechanically demanding hero. Even with the extra ammo, yes, you're more deadly in those moments, but you still need.
And they
to
stay
sync
triple support
with
for the
moment of
Black
dive of
Hat.
Team Captain, who, yes, the Venom is one of his comfort picks. And now where's the rest of the damage coming from? Exo and Monarch are busy trying to deal with gainers, so they're not really part of this. While as then you have this Mantis who's hoping to damage boost Whoops, but this triple strategist means you don't have a second.
Surprised Captain didn't go Thor. He's stuck on the, Wolverine. He's stuck on a tank.
If Alter don't trade backlines, Sadot is gonna ruin everything for Alter.
Wonder if anyone else can play tank.
How much as well, like, there's going to be, like, Peel here. You've got people on the high ground, but is there anybody that's really going to be scary against
Wolverine? Would be really
like,
good.
Daredevil can sort of, like, smush them out, make sure that they can't...
Not as good as, like, Iron Fist
is going to do the same
in the Dino, because Wolverine can't kidnap.
It's like you have 3 strategists that are going to be key targets.
It still does a lot of damage.
Wants to get this easy charge up on the Devil Dinosaur.
But I like Punisher.
It's over on the engagement. Body barrier is going to be even used.
What?
But Alter, like, just find the pick to the backline. It's like Lions went in, Alter just went into the backline strategist and just took them out instantly.
That is insane. Just to have a Venom basically solo an Invisible Woman like that should be unheard of. And now Alter buys some very precious time here, while Lions are still waiting to set up Sadot on the angle and send Gainer with them. Usually this is a very successful flank. Alter are watching for it.
I imagine, like, Gain and Satam need to, like, combine. That's the main thing. If you want to go for these dives, it has to be together, and that's what's sort of felt a little bit isolated. Like, the Captain America is going to be in, he's going to be out, he's on the high ground. Nobody else is really able to sort of even contest with him. He's there in the high ground. You've got the Force being formed out from Frankie Box in the diamond form, able to get the picks. There's so much damage. You found
so much.
The
Got the Dino.
Isn't there, Lemon?
But the crystals are, and that is why
Emma's
is
so good.
Such a good Vanguard to play with the Dino, but also against the Dino with that percentage health. So Alter win back-to-back fights now. Lions half the time bank and not really close to the ultimates because they've just been skirmishing so much.
For me, yeah, it's just like keep an eye on Gainer, keep an eye on Satam. Like, are they going on the right target? Like, this is why you also saw a lot of White Fox too. Like, those 3 just dive on one like isolated target. Like, go for those like eliminations, and you're free like strategists to pick off. Like,
right, here comes the Cap.
So you have to be very selective.
And the Black Hat.
Have a keen choice on who you want to run into. It's looked disconnected now, and
Star-Lord up
to the top.
Wait, I think they're able to get into cover. Lions do survive the storm, and
they stop him.
Hanging around, playing around the ceiling so well. Get a little bit caught there, but that is just one wave of ultimates. Team Captain will crash down on this parade. Uses the ults to bring everyone down so low. Wizerks gives him another chance at life with the End Song Inferno landing on a doppelganger, so not going to be impactful.
Nope, Phoenix does
Lions
nothing.
Trying to toss people off the map, or at least out of the fight. So a little bit of an isolation.
Nobody mind control coming out.
Back there as the Emma Charm gets these assassins off Frankie's backline, but Saddam's mark has still been felt.
But they went 2 supports down. There comes the Luna ult.
Be able to portal in, especially with this fate of
Yep, here comes the strange portal.
Are believers, and how can you doubt them? The Lions are just a lot healthier, and Ziad stops the field and brings them
the Dino
into
stomping.
the firing squad. And there's nothing more that Alter can do but portal and draw a few more seconds from this Lions cap.
Now everybody's on the right target there. You've got like the fight happening on the objective with the
What's a big strange pick?
Fox wanting to at least try to sort of AoE set themselves up on the objective even. So now like it's going to be like Rex just taking an absolute pummeling now. The Alter Esports actually able to get back into this engagement, and it's still only a third that they managed to get, and there's less than a minute on the clock. Like, Lemon, this is looking really difficult now for Lions. Even if they're finding the eliminations now for Satam, they have to be able to finish near enough the end of the map at this rate.
Yeah, that will be a full cap now. No portal available for Alter, and liking that
good effort,
you're able to use that Emma as well to shield off the heals of someone like Rex, who will probably go back to the strategist now. We're gonna go back to the tried and true comp of Lions to try and ward away this dive from Alter, who are now a lot more successful with trading backlines. You saw Team Captain how valuable he was at removing Rex and at least harassing Lions, but wait. Lions are still trying to get some progress here and at least get the high ground going.
Now seeing what the like Lions now having to not like go for the high ground. They're not going for these
Ooh,
like
they lost
positions
the
to
Sue.
try and get in over on top. Like they've had actually respected this far too much, and Alter have sort of smelt that there's a little bit of trepidation in this engagement, but it might have just allowed the space for Sadot to find himself two from nowhere.
And two of those being strategists. At this point, you're gonna have to run 5 strategists to survive and still have heals after Sadot is done with you. And that was after Alter had such incredible
That's
ping
crazy.
on Rex, and you thought that was gonna be the end of the chapter.
still lost
and
that
Sadot
fight.
just solo swings the fight in his favor.
Absolutely just steals like 2
That black
picks,
hat
but
is
also,
farming.
like, they dove in aggressively, seeing that the lines were backing out, but it must have created so much space for Sadot to find the picks. You've got calling card used alongside the Galactic Legend, and it's narrowly, it's going to be the Galactic Legend that wins out in the end for Whoops. He is going to be traded in the end, so the 5v5 is going to end up more in a brawl with 90 seconds left.
And the heroics always come from Sadot, so I think you take that trade if you're Alter, the Galactic Legend against Sadot, but the rest of the Lions are going to
Dino
roar.
rampaging.
Double Vanguard
Got the Emma.
ultimates that overwhelm the Alters, and now you just have a few more meters to go, and you don't have Frankie, and Team Captain can't contest, so this is going to be a swift cap and maybe able to make up for the time deficit that Lions experienced on the first point.
2.5 minutes, like it's the difference, like so many like first point fast takes and then a slow second. This was the opposite in the end for like Lions here, just off the base of like Saturn being able to find those eliminations as Alter like overextended themselves. Now Frankie Box inside the seduction, I imagine
I think they might be
use this,
regretting
like,
the
off
Luna
the
pick.
rip. You have so many like strategist ultimates to
Triple
back up
support
on,
was the
and
right
really
counter.
Lions to be using. Buddy Barrier being used out early too
For Black Cat,
Soul Resurgence.
but Luna's
Like,
just
the
not
Soul
great at
Resurgence, I
dive,
mean, yeah, they were so out of position, they had to pop it.
especially
and
without White Fox.
Still one-man advantage for Alter, chasing down the rest, and now you can play that psionic seduction. Team Captain can kick off the fight. In worst case, you have Fate of Both Worlds, so Alter are set up to make this a marathon.
Yeah, and you could just go for the copy as well because Exo is very close to having it. So it's like, okay, just use the original. We'll have a copy if we do need it.
But
We
still-
just need to make
still
sure that
close,
we win
though.
the fight because we need to buy more time. We need to force more engagement. Aegis is going to connect onto the Diner, put a barrier.
Kills the Venom
It's
ult.
immediately once that barrier goes down, that's when
Big pick by Emma.
And Team Captain is just got something. A vendetta against Rex is always eliminating a strategist on the Lion side, and there's only so much just a little shark can do. Alter are really finding some impact, some success on these counter dives.
It's just like the buddy barrier. Once it goes down for Ziad, like, sorry, anybody from
They just
like,
gotta
Alter
hold
in
him
the end,
now.
Yeah, like Ziad goes down. Alter immediately.
Black Cat's gonna have
able to
ult
bounce
soon.
off of it. They still have those ultimates, but they've just been winning these fights for free.
And Whoops is doing his best to mark everyone, whether it's the Black Cat or the Captain America. And Sadot doesn't matter. You can watch it all unfold, and he'll fold your backline like a lawn
They got the
chair.
Jeff Falls
Rex
up.
hopes to
Ooh,
keep
big
them
pick by
stable.
Phoenix.
48 seconds, the invisible boundary will
On the
cement some
Star-Lord.
real estate. And now the charm hopes
nobody
to
mind
bring the
control.
house down as Alter with the Fate of Both Worlds are not really getting much connection. They do
Doesn't
get a
get
charm
anything.
onto the Black Cat, but not enough punish is coming out of Alter. Not unless Whoops is locked in, and he surely will be with the Galactic Legend coming
Calling
out.
card.
And Alter are taking shelter from this cat.
It's so close. It's so
Got
close
their
to being
Emma.
ready and available, and there goes the front line in the end. Like, Exo's had this copy for so long, and you've got a Galactic Legend. Use that with a Soul Resurgence, but they just waited. There was a gap, and immediately the front line is cut to pieces, and Alter able to sort of start to flounder a bit more.
Alter, they have good ults to try and survive this. This is the fight to see if we go into a third map or not. And it's the Lions that kick off with the Vanguard. QB waiting for his moment to kidnap Ziad, brings
it.
Frankie to his knees,
Ooh.
and chomps down one final time to make a feast out of the Alter front line. And Whoops needs to put on a show, and his Black Cat just
Black Cat, oh, got cooked the Star-Lord. Star-Lord cooked the Black Cat.
Pulls the final trigger, and Alter seem to have found a breath
Huge.
in their lungs, wind in the sails, and Alter send the Lions away. A portal to maybe recontest, to extend this overtime for what little it has left. But there's just no progress. There's no momentum being generated here from Lions unless Sadot or someone emerges as the hero.
Oh, they lost
but
too.
Alter have lost their only duelist, but they have the Soul Resurgence left, and that
Mantis
should
all
be
coming
the
out.
end. The graves are marked from Lions. Alter just have to send away QB, and so they have. We are going to map 3.
Map 3,
Alter being
wow,
able to
big
bounce back
comeback.
from like a tough first map in the end.
Big
The Lions
comeback by
had
Team
so
Captain.
many like good moments to try and work with it. It's just that like Alter, that second point, like first point defense actually pretty much going all the way to like OT. Lions.
We're going down to
eking
the
it out
wire.
by a fine margin. It's now Alter bringing this to a third, but they've been consistently able to get to full best of three, Slideman, but it's just like being lost out at the final post. Lions have the choice of like a convoy map to finish on, and like they would have preferred to have gone Shinshibuya if they had full control, if they could choose convergence, but they can't. So now they have to choose something else entirely, and whether they want to still commit to this. Whoops showed up massively in the triple strategist, working a lot stronger for Alter.
I gotta get my phone.
42K.
I'm gonna order
like
lunch
you're making Terra blush on the
while I'm
Star-Lord
waiting.
on just visiting this map before. If he can get over 40,000 damage, that is so impressive from Whoops. The 22 final blows as well, matching well with Team Captain, and I'm glad that Alter kind of found the Vanguard line that works for them, someone that can stabilize the objective. And Team Captain was ruining Rex's life. I know Zerx is on the Invisible Woman, but Rex was just always getting eliminated first on the Lions side. But Saddam was what really made this map as close as it was. I mean, it came down to an overtime fight for the win or loss. So, I mean, this could have gone either way.
Yeah, so we're going to see exactly how this map is going to end after a quick break. So don't go anywhere. Alter Esports versus Lions will continue on as the first day we see in preseason.
I need new headphones too.
Show me that you are still the only one that matters for me. I'll be waiting for you. Wait up in your hands, holding on to your heart. Look inside you. Can you feel it? The
So-
sparks in you. Light it up, unleash it. Wake up in your
This always makes me think of that first trailer for Rivals.
before the rift winters yet again.
Iconic. To the end of time.
한껏 높이 날아올라 내 누워진 밤하늘을 가로질러 Oh yeah, oh yeah 필요할 때 내가 널 지켜줄게 간절히 바라면 이루어지는 마법인 거야 하늘의 서로를
Series 1-1 with Lions taking the first and Alter able to hold in the final building. So close to that ending, so close to a triple cap as well from the Lions that could have maybe secured themselves that win a little bit more convincingly. But Alter able to sneak it back in and get themselves on the board, taking us to a map 3 And while we did see Alter take another win, we were chatting in the break and putting in messages in our chat. Lemon, Frankie Boxing and Team Captain both are putting a stellar performance on Vanguard.
And they look so
Big
good
facts.
together, and I think that's why the tryouts were so crystal clear on why Frankie should join this team. I mean, the comms improve time and time again. I like that they also look stable as a squad when things get really chaotic. When you have a Black Cat flanking you all the time, that was going to be something that Alter had to address. They didn't do it in the ban. Maybe they tried to do it in the map pick, but they did so either with the Daredevil in the first map, which didn't work out, but mostly whoops his attention on the Star-Lord, all towards that Black Cat, letting it rain with the Galactic Legend, always on this poor cat who's not a fan of that rain. And I think Whoops did an incredible job, especially needing to own that single duelist. You have to be the GOAT.
And Ryan, looking at this end screen here, we had players like Satan performing, Ziad with 89k damage blocked, Zerg's playing on Star-Lord, playing on Jeff, just playing over everything. Who's standing out to you so far in this series now that we're tied up?
Ooh, in the series, it's like Satam still for like just like some of the Black Cat like prowess and stuff. Like as a duelist, like we were sort of focusing on Zergs a little bit more, but I think Satam is just like remember the name a little bit more. I think this has been a really good like intro debut for Ziad, certainly when you're just playing the Devil Dino. But I'm liking like Monarch, like for Ultra Esports, it's like, okay, now you can see exactly what they want to try and do with a composition, and it glues everything together. That's the key area, and Yggdrasil's path is going to be our third and final map decided on by Lions.
Yggdrasil path, a convoy to close us out in our first game 3 of the day. We're not going to be seeing any super hard spawn holds here, so Lemon, looking at this, are we going to be sticking with potentially the bans on stuff like the Gambit, or are we going to be seeing bans on stuff like the Devil Dinosaur? I leave it over to you and Ryan to take it away.
Yes, I guess we're gonna have to have a council meeting, Ryan, on what these picks and bans are gonna look like, because you highlighted a bunch of really good people. I probably would have also given a big shout out to Gainer, because it's the Black Cat, which was a lot of solo plays at the beginning. Then they realized that that needed reinforcement, so sending the Captain America, I don't want to accidentally say Team Captain, but sending the Captain America with the Black Cat has made a huge difference. I love what Gainer did on the previous map.
I think it's just a really good like method to be playing like Captain America in, and like just building up like ult charge and stuff. It doesn't feel like it's like, okay, Deadpool, Vanguard, and then
like Chinese
you can
food.
work around with the Gambit. Like if you want to get Rogue, you can do. But going into it this time, it's like it's still going to be these Gambit like first bands coming in. You're looking to be another one-sided like Devil Dinosaur in hands and in favor of this time for like Lions. So they're going to have the dinosaur themselves. I would imagine, though, there might be more priority that goes on to getting Frankie Box in the Emma, because she's exceptional on this map, even without facing up against the Devil Dino.
Yeah, that seemed to be the fallback plan in a one-sided Dino situation, which did a really fantastic job of placing the shields, which is going to be how all the Emmas are going to be playing, but placing the shield behind the Dino to limit some of those heals. Every second matters, and the Dino has to realize, okay, do I engage and try to self-heal off of the chomps, but then you have to be, of course, in melee range, or do you try and fall back to your strategist? But again, the name of the game is going to be how Alter protect their backline. Is it going to be the Loki or not, which is gonna be a tough one, because it's either the Luna, the Loki, or any kind of strategist that can peel against a Black Cat.
It seems that that's going to be like the protects going in, but I think if you're like Ultra Esports here, like you've got exactly what you want. You've got the one-sided Mantis, the one-sided Luna again. Like it was the Venom that was taken out last time from Gainer. It's going to be the same here. Like you could have gone for something like, is there any other players or characters that we're worried about in particular? It seems that taking Gainer off of the Venom, where it's a decent map for him still, is going to be like the area. Like I really like these drafts from like Ultra Esports, and even if Lions do have the strong characters of stuff like Devil Dinosaur, especially one-sided, Ultra Esports have an answer for it, and they're all playing around it. That's the key thing.
And I like that there's just a plan B for any of these heroes that are getting banned, whether if it's Gainer or Team Captain's Venom, then the Captain America is that substitute. And if it's not the Dino, if it's a one-sided Dino, then you bring out the Emma to try and counter that, because that crystal is going to do so much chunk damage to that Dino, and you want to try and do that damage as quickly as possible. So we're getting a glimpse of what the defense has been decided on, and it's Monarch once again on the Luna. I'm seeing some triple strategists, the Emma, the Phoenix, and especially on a map like Idrisil's Path on defense, you're going to be so spaced out from your opponent from some time, so that Phoenix can oftentimes decide a fight before it even begins.
Seeing how if Ultra Esports can manage to get some like wins on the board to begin, like they were able to pick up a series win against Pulsar in their groups, but losing out against Peps in like the deciding match of groups meant that they didn't make playoffs. It was by thin margins, and this game sort of, Tetcha said it right at the start of the day, it could be like playoffs defining considering how strong this group is for Group A. But Frankie Boxing hoping to just farm up as much damage as he can. The fall off is great, you don't have many barriers to deal with. He's just facing
like this
head
comp more
on
for
against this
the
dinosaur on the
alters.
other side of Ziad.
And so many charms.
Remember
A
with the
good
big
initial
grab?
kick, but not pushing the dino forward yet. Gets Ziad low. Remember, the longer this fight goes, the stronger this Emma gets. Meanwhile, Gainer has already begun flanking against the strategists, and this is really causing chaos in the altar camp. Not having that Mantis in the lineup, which means the Emma wasn't paid attention to, which means Lions will see progress.
Yeah, it's actually a huge amount of progress to begin with, and like Ultra Esports looking to try and group up and engage here. If somebody gets eliminated, they could go for Strange perhaps for a portal play, but it's already been somewhat disrupted from Gainer, who on the Captain America is like close some space. Goes down to low HP, but he's able to survive in the end.
Too bad-
Team Captain trying to sort of
too
break
bad
up the
Captain
back
doesn't
line,
have
but
a
you already
Groot
lose
in
one
his-
of your
in
free
his,
strategists
bag.
you run in.
It's just Ultra always starting these fights without their Mantis, and a trade hero there is not going to matter because this is just capped right in front of the eyes of Ultra, who have not found any
So
stability
I feel like you
at the
need.
start of
I feel like you need
Idrisil's
to
path, and I mean,
counter
this is such a
Dino
punishing
with
first point.
first point
If you don't have any
with a
pushback, you're just going to get run
frontline
over.
Well, teams
presence.
could just like tilt themselves into the ground as well and lose second very quickly. And with Satan playing Black Cat, he's got information on if anybody's coming for the high ground. Whoops has to go on low.
But, like,
and he's
yeah,
trying to
if
keep
they had
in and
Emma
around the
Groot-
team on the other side, because Lions have got so much pressure on this high ground. It could be Lions like snowballing this if somebody from
They'd be
Ultra
able to
gets
break
picked at
that
a bad
front
spot.
line.
Whoops able to displace these duelists, but they're all going to be looking at him while Gainer will be sent away. Doesn't want that much attention. You can see that Zerx's impact
And
is
then they
already
can
felt
focus
the way
on
he already
killing the
has the
dive.
Song Inferno, and he's trying to bring this wasp of Whoops down to his knees. Toss now. Lions will feed one to their team.
broken.
And Lions, yeah, not going to be able to pull off the End Song Inferno, but Team Captain trying to get these strategists down to their knees, and at least Ultra were on board with the plan, but there's just not enough heals, and the Fate of Both Worlds comes out when only 4 of Ultra remain, and it's matched by the Lions' invisible boundary, so we're left at a stalemate.
It's just these fights have been consistently ongoing, like even the Lions like winning out and it's forced another reset from Alta. Time was bought. It's just how costly it was ultimate wise.
What are these B-hops
on hand for Hatro
with
and
the
Exo
dino?
gonna have Kamiho
They
to
look so
try and dive in
funny.
and go for these fights soon. It's gonna be a bit more of like a save for a trait as Galactic Legend is looming, but you just look at Lions, like they're sort of respecting this. They find the pick on the team captain that gets everybody focuses on the dive as it comes in. 6v5.
And you should be the most evasive character in the game on the Venom, so just Ultra not really able to bail out their Vanguard. The Charm brings the Dino in, but that's not the target you want. You want what's supporting the Dino behind, and Lions, they send it with the Kumio form. You wanted a fight, and you will get one. And the Gainer is ready to push these strategists to the edge, and the Duelist ultimates come raining down, and of course,
the buddy
all the
barrier.
limbs come out from the Lions. There is just not much of
Black
a
Hat went
response from
crazy
Alters,
again.
and that means Lions are about to cap.
You won't be
Satam is moving at such a pace, you can't even keep up with him, it feels like. But that was like such good play in the end from like Lions. You could see like Whoops, he was holding on to his ultimate. Big ultimates were expended for the rest of his team to just like get out as many like strategist ults, right? Like sustain, freedom charge. Then he's gonna go in for the Galactic Legend. Instantly shut down from Ziad with just a buddy barrier. He basically is, I'm a big dinosaur, I put up a big shield, I stand indoor, you can't do anything. That was the way that it was counted. Like Galactic Legends felt so free there if it wasn't for Ziad playing well. But it means that this keeps going for Lions. 4 minutes on the clock. Frankie Boxing wants to try to like draw a line in the sign to go in for these fights, but he's worried about the front line being punished off and giving too much space for Satam to dive in onto his back line.
Just these strategists from Alter need to be safe. And how was Whoops getting beat to death by a Captain America? There is something breaking down in the Alter camp, and now everyone falls like dominoes. Lions already
Bro, what is
had a
going on? Yeah,
terrifying
what is going
time
on? They're
going
getting
into
farmed.
this with 4 minutes, and now they'll just keep it going as Team Captain just wanted to maybe perish on the payload there on the convoy, and he's getting pulled back in. But this also is good old charge for Monarch to get the Fate of Both Worlds going.
Yeah, the biggest issue is
Now,
that their backline
seeing
can't
if,
stay
like,
alive,
Lions
even in triple
just
support.
Keeping it easy now. You don't really have much to worry about other than like this, but the Enzo Inferno is going to dive in onto like Hatra.
there goes
Enzo's
Mantis.
taken out in quick succession too.
And
then
White
you've got
Fox.
Fate of both worlds used. Like there's some sustain. Team Captain has found himself too though with the Feast of the Abyss, trying to get onto another one with a Phoenix, and then
There's a
suddenly
third.
out of absolutely nowhere, Lemon. Lions looking like they're forced to reset, but they haven't heard a bell. They're going to go in for the frenzy on Ziad. This fight is still ongoing, but Alter bought themselves a
Team
lifeline.
captain is deadlifting
Team
right now.
Captain puts the cape on his back. This is only winnable because of him. Two
Literally.
strategists fall from one Venom ultimate.
His
And the
backline is
Lions,
just
though, it's a minor setback. They still have
not
plenty
doing
of
their
time,
job.
and Team
They just
Captain
can't stay
has more
alive.
up his sleeve. And you see that all of Lions are paying attention to this Venom, while of course Sadot gets ready on the flank with the calling card, and Team Captain knows he has to play more survivable. Now Lions have a window to engage while the Venom has left, and this is the go sign.
Maybe just
Pedal
get off
to the
Mantis
metal,
and go,
and Gainer's ready with the
Rocket.
ultimate very soon. You really can't look at this Venom. Lions have the strategists exactly where they want them, and maybe you're looking for a grab on the Venom while Whoops hopes to peel for his team,
Sue.
but Team Captain can't be bailed out. You'll have to do it without him, and it's the charm to bring Lions away from safety, and the Lions, they escape, but now the strategists
Cap.
are in trouble, and Gainer always
Force
converts
the-
in these moments.
forces the
He'll
Mantis
force
ult.
out the soul resurgence, and Alter will have to fight, not on their terms, but when they are forced to. Lions will bring out the Kumiho form in response, and Whoops hopes to end it all with a Galactic Legend. And with the Venom dive, it cements
Ooh,
them
got
in,
one.
and
Got
Lions,
two.
they cannot go anywhere against this.
There's no
Big
space to
solo.
work on. Alter
Got
winning
three.
the fight, but dragging it out, which is probably more important. Lions can't sort of put the final hit in. But it was just like an improv group. It's just, and then this happens, and then this happens. It just wasn't ending. And like for Lions, that could be costly. Like if you feel like you're not going to win the fight, but don't over-dedicate, reset, try to regroup, because Ultra are able to sort of farm up a nice cycle of strategist ultimates. They got Kumiho and then Fate of Both Worlds looming, ready, available for the backline to survive all of this like ongoing threat. But calling card could be the difference. It's thrown in
That was
instantly from
Black
Satam.
Okay, EXO tries to keep the team afloat and rally the troops, and Lions, they just do not care about your Fox because they have the cat, and Sentinel has a double! No strategists remain
Holy.
from Alter! They just get suffocated, choked to death by the cat, and one last hurrah comes from Team Captain just to stall, to get Lions thinking twice, but all they're thinking about is a cap. But the Fate of Both Worlds will try to swing things in Alter's favor, but the invisible boundary just matches band for band, and all the healing is now neutralized. Frankie's gonna need help on the Angela, but all he
White
was
Fox,
doing was
big
delaying the inevitable. Sadot is just all over Alter, and there's just no way to keep this ship still floating, as Alter will give up the cap now with an 8-second time bank to Lions.
Full cap.
I mean, finishing the map could be
Tough.
the difference in itself, even if there's only 8 seconds left. But for Alter, like, considering how brutal that first point defense was, just how it was a nothing burger. Nothing was there. There was like one fight, couple of eliminations, and you've instantly lost it. They held out a decent amount on second, considering how long these fights were going on. And then third, able to hold on for like 4 minutes or so. A great performances for like Team Captain being able to get 2 with like the Feast of the Abyss. We're still finding those like eliminations. But it just goes to show just how quick Satam can like turn that fight, calling card especially. And you've got Ziad diving in with the engagement, Gainer sustaining his team with these freedom charges. It's like the fact that Lions haven't like slowed down, they haven't tempered the way that they want to play. They've just increased it and added a dinosaur in for good measure.
It's just the punish that they have on Team Captain, and it's not even a severe amount of casualties. And it's, if you force Team Captain out of the fight, there's just this immediate tempo change from Lions to then force out Frankie boxing. And then also Hatro was kind of falling a lot initially at the first part of point A, which was already one of the problems that Alter had to address, and just having to make sure this backline survives. It's just been so difficult for Alter to do. And that's a big shout out to Sadot, really looking like the better Black Cats here in EMEA.
Now fight in for Alter, see if they can try to match what Lions have been able to do on this attack by pushing.
We finally got a Punisher.
It's just a case of like how much this like first fight and how quickly they can take this first engagement. It could be the deciding factor. Team Captain immediately wanted to try and contest onto the high ground. It's going to be enough.
I've been wanting them to try Punisher.
The likes of like Phoenix and Gainer trying
see
to
how
go
it
for
works
this
for
like
him.
flank to see if he can get onto the strategists in the back line. But everybody's grouped up together. Things are still moving on.
Lions are
haven't
countering
lost
with
anybody just yet.
Triple Sport
Lions at
Ultron.
least setting the tone right now and just keeping this back corner. Captain, though, but with how the strategists are spacing out, Captain can really only dive on one person at a time, and he's not getting healed at all. The rest of Volter on the other side of the cart. You need Monarch to give Flake. You need Exo to lock in, and Alter are just not this unit that we saw at the beginning of the series.
Ziad pushing
Yeah,
forward.
I'm not watching. I gotta look at the
keep
the
this
VOD
like,
from
closed
Team
in.
Captain's
If there's anybody else
perspective.
on Alter, no, they have to try and regroup.
See
I'm
what
not sure if they're like concerned
what
about
is
any
going on with
flanks
the team.
happening or just trying to like reposition to get the information. And it really is just a case of like how many of these are like real dives coming in from Team Captain, like on the Venom. Like he wants to contest the high ground, but he's not really got much with him. Everybody else is going to just try and set up these like crossfires. Certainly looking
he
at
got off the
Whoops, he's
Punisher.
gonna be more
They got
like
off
in
the
the
Punisher
backline.
fast.
It's how much like focus goes in onto these Venoms. The CC is perfect, but Monarch is the one that finds that first pick onto Rex.
And that's huge, and that's because, I mean, you didn't have the Gainer flank really start to form at this moment, and Lions,
Maybe too
I mean,
fast.
Alter, the comms have to be incredible for when Gainer shows up, when the ults come out, when Team Captain has to play safe, when his backline is getting pressured. There are so many threats.
This Team
on the
Captain's
Lions
dives
side
can't do
that Alter
anything
have to
because
address, and this is
they're
now
not getting enough
costing a
pressure.
Pretty good amount of time for Alter. This was a speed run for Lions previously, and Alter have half their time gone, and this could still be good. And right at the knees of the Invisible Woman, the end song Inferno does not finish the strats. Now the Soul Resurgence against the Invisible Boundary, and Alter still hope to make
Thunder
the space
Lizard.
the cap, but they just don't have the picks. Lions have so much sustained on their side, and Frankie hopes to charm them back into the fight. Now another Invisible Boundary, this time from the attack, and Alter still have one strat ultimate left in their back pocket, and Kumio form isn't up yet for Rex. So this is really just a back and forth affair of the ultimate battle between strategists.
Now, Fate of Both Worlds is going to be sort of holding on here as much as they possibly can. And they're able to sort of keep this like attack just stalled out a bit more. Like Lions are doing well to hold on. The Kamiho is just going to sustain it even if Rex goes down in the process. Picks are being traded, which is only going to benefit Lions in the end. Ziad has pretty much not moved from this main pathway. He's getting good information, and he must be feeling pretty good about this with only a minute left. Alter Esports barely got past first. Lions have got so much control of this objective and a Rage of Ultron to maybe put this one to bed.
This was the Lions map pick, and you're just stepping into the
It's
jungle
not looking
with
good
no
for Team Captain.
map and no solution, and it's just at this point you just need to be composed to know when it's time to pull back the fight. And Alter have been so good at trading backlines, but Whoops is on Phoenix, and Monarch's the one on the Star-Lord, so it's been such a different thing. But what stays the same is a Mantis being removed from the Alter side as the Endsog looks to take care of an Ultron in midair. Incredible stuff from Whoops to try and trade this now 5 versus 5, but Alter needs a cap, and this is the last fight. 10 seconds left. Maybe someone will have to portal. Team Captain will be on that duty. Lions hope to chase everyone trying to get into that portal, but no, it's time to return to the objective. Oh, there's no touch.
No touch.
The portal wasn't there. Lions
Wow.
just win the series off of that.
Oh, and Alter just
that was
bad.
bad.
Third map, Lions.
What happened?
They didn't have like Shin Shibuya to rely on, and it might be like a different team that we're seeing when it comes to like how they're
Damn,
packaged.
they folded.
But the
That's
Lions
tough.
roar again as
Team
the
Captain was going crazy,
continuation of,
but
like what Vision were able to do sets himself up in a playoff-defining game. Frankly, it's a great.
They just didn't seem
addition of, like,
they just didn't seem
Ziad
prepared for that
coming in
last
to
map.
Sort of work with this. You've got.
Or
Just
for
continuing on with, like,
or for the
performance.
Dino
And look at the
Dino
eliminations. Like,
or
you might
Black
not
Hat
even be able
matchup.
to see it. It's 1 to like Zerx, 2 to Satam to QB.
Yeah.
Nobody went down on the side of the Lions, and like
Yeah,
Texture,
we got Tetcher, yeah.
it was pretty like dominant in the end for Lions on their final map choice.
Yeah, no, this was such a close series, and then that last game, it was like, where's this been the whole time? Because Lions just absolutely smashed that.
Just BTA.
Incredible play, a beautiful hold.
Absolute
and the perfect
actual
timing on
BTA
those eliminations.
on
Even
that
Sadot
that last
very
map.
small amount at the end there. They were just a little bit too slow on the portal with Alta, meaning Lions were able to close that out magnificently. Beautifully executed.
Tough.
And a well-deserved first win for Lions as they are
GG to them.
just joining us here for stage 1. Lemon, we keep talking about Saddam, yet another great performance.
And, you know, we highlight him on all these, whether it's the Black Cat now, I guess, on the Ultron. But Zerx is part of setting up and making everyone so squishy. I mean, he dropped, I think, 34,000 damage on the Phoenix on map 1. And now we revisit his stats, 32,000 damage on the Phoenix in map 3. And Zerx has always been that mechanical guy for this team. And now he's paired with an assassin, well, most of the time, that can go and finish off all these limbs. So the win condition is so
They should have just
clear
banned
for
Black Hat, honestly.
Ryan, let's have a look at some of these highlights. This is, reminder, the Vision roster from the pre-season with some small changes. What's standing out for you that's making Lions?
If they didn't have
incredible first
answer to
series
Black Hat, they should have
think
just
it was,
banned
like,
it
when
and
they looked
focus
the
on
best in
stopping the
pre-season was
Dino.
that first week when people were like very much putting stock on dive, and then it sort of changed to be a bit more like Elsa poke, more based around like Gambit. Outside,
It's funny, I
of,
said
like,
this
just
would
doing
happen.
these, like, dive
I said
centric
Black Hat
stuff.
would launch,
It feels here that they've taken like what,
and
like,
people would
method
think
they
she's
wanna go around,
underwhelming
like Devil Dinosaur,
'cause
they
she's
wanna
so
go for,
complicated to
like, more
play.
White Fox, they want to play the Black Cat,
And then
but they
within
just
a week,
incorporate in it. Like you can play
she'd be
that
like a
sort of
staple
brawl
among
around Devil
pro
Dinosaur, but play
players.
it with such like aggression and like coordination that you can still actually like make it dive centric.
Because she's so strong in coordinated play.
We've also got to bring up, you mentioned it during the cast, Lemon, just how much space Gator is getting with the amount of pressure they're putting onto those backlines.
Yeah, just the Captain America has been such a good fallback plan because, I mean, I didn't even feel like Saddam even needed that much help, but once you threw him on Hall of Jalia, Gainer running it down, it put so much stress and pressure on the Alter strategists that it changed the entire way of how they were approaching fights. Alter had to instead be proactive, they had to be reactive to always mark where Gainer was, to look where Saddam was on the Black Cat, and it was just always playing catch up.
True.
We're going to have a look at some of those statistics, and you can see just an insane performance. You highlighted
28-1 on Phoenix.
Zerx, 14 and
14
1,
finals.
31k damage. Ryan,
Team captain went
insane
3 and 8.
performance there.
Oof.
It's
0 and 10 on
It's
Emma
also,
is
like, we saw this a lot with
diabolical.
Elsa, just
What?
How much like space are they given? Because it's very easy to just churn out damage when you're Elsa or like Jean Grey. By just
Oh my
being
God,
sat on
that
high
was
ground,
bad.
Just popping people from a distance. Like she doesn't have to rely on like the burst damage of getting us consistent hits anymore. Just the outright damage that Jean Grey does is incredibly strong. So it really is a case of like how much.
Hello
is
from
what's
upstate
just
New
giving
York. Shout out to
free
upstate New
range
York.
damage from a distance when you've got someone like Zerx even.
What's
to,
up,
like,
JoJo? I
going
love
for
upstate
fights when
New York.
Gainer and Ziad are just so in the face, right? Like it's such a good look when we're looking at.
I went up
Saddam, he's
there
diving
to
and getting
visit a friend of my
eliminations.
mom's
You don't really
years
get to
ago.
watch Zerx's POV.
Beautiful.
But he's just stood at
Beautiful
a distance,
area.
being safe, holding left click and demolishing people.
He's doing work, but not just that, he's also flexible. In the earlier series, again, this is something that Lemon pointed out. We don't get to see Zerx on Jeff very often, but it happened. We got to see it, Lemon.
Yeah,
During Albany. I don't think I went to Albany.
Very nice to see all the
I didn't go to
flexibility
Albany,
that
but
the Lions and just everyone brought out.
I was
in kind of a
upstate.
very fresh
I don't want to say where it
meta
was,
where
but it was
just an
it was very
addition of
nice.
One or two heroes changes the entirety of how you're approaching.
Much better
every
than in the
single
city.
one
I
of
went to
these
school in the
maps, and
city.
It's cool to see not even just how
New York
linear
City.
things are. It's not just front to back
No,
or
it's cool.
dive. It's really
You know,
a mix of both.
lot of
and
lot of
that's
cool
kind
stuff.
How you're playing Dino
Always something to
and
do.
Captain America these days, or how you
But
play a Venom and an Emma.
very
who's an
loud, very
anchor and who's a
dirty.
diver, and how
It's just kind of a lot.
and how quickly you can execute.
I prefer upstate.
Is kind of the name of the game, and Lions were just way more efficient.
Could not agree more. But speaking
Yeah,
of
they just
efficiency,
folded on that last
every
map.
win
That
matters.
was bad.
Ryan, this is Group A. This is the one that a lot of people are worried
It was so
about.
close
This
up
is
to that
the
point though,
Derby
but they
Rad versus
I don't know what
Blue.
happened on that last
So
map.
Every single win is so incredible.
I gotta watch the VOD to see team captain's perspective. On that
especially
last
when it's
map,
like for
I know there
the
was
likes
I know they
of
were
Ultra
crashing out.
Esports, like the one win that they got in groups when it was like head to head with Peps was Pulsar. And Pulsar have changed a lot on their team. Like, this isn't like a free win by any stretch of the imagination. So it's like, if you're Lions, you're feeling good, but you have a strong Pulsar to beat, and then all of these other
No,
teams
that last map was free. That was BTA.
Top options in the region. For Ultra Esports, it's now a must win against Pulsar, or you need to get like a shock win against some of these other bigger organizations within your group. It's just a really rough start, but it's the strength of schedule, and everybody has to go through it in a round robin like this.
We had a great showing, though, from Ultra. They did take the map, and they almost were able to take that first map as well. But that loss is pretty big for them in this very tough group. Lemon, what would you like to see for them, or what would you like them to do? What advice do you have for them as they go ahead into the games later in the week and the following weeks coming up?
The best
I guess
player?
either adapting
I don't know who
to
the best.
meta
I don't know.
around
I don't know who the
Black
best.
Cat,
I don't know
or
who
learning how to
if we
counter
could say who the
better.
best player
Ultra
is,
have had the option of
because
playing Black Cat,
Rivals
chose not to. They're just
is
sticking to
very
their
much
guns,
about
literally, of the
is
hit
very
scans
much
and
role
just playing
specific.
at a distance, but they had the
If,
right
uh,
strategy.
if we're just
to get
talking
some
about-
points, but if the Loki gets banned out, then what?
If we're
all
just talking
these things
about
get banned, if the Dino gets banned out,
accomplishments
if your
or
main
whatever,
composition
I
gets
mean,
banned out, you need to have more of a well.
the general
strategy, and I
best
think
player
Ultra
is
will develop
Saipe,
that,
obviously,
since they did
because
just add a new Vanguard. They did
at
just
least in
add
terms
someone
of
who
the
has a different
ladder
hero
play,
pool than Z-Cube did in the past. So
because
hopefully this will be a
obviously he
long-term project. While Lions, I
hit-
mean, they mastered the Black Cat
hit number
already,
one.
so they will be ahead of the game this early.
I think at one point
Been very
he had 5.
Saturn's really
If
given
you look
show
at the
for us,
top 5
especially here in the,
the top 10
while we have been getting ever so slightly seasick,
accounts
how mobile they are.
Yeah.
in the world
Again,
on
Season,
Rivals
like,
in
Ultra
the
coming Devil
in
Dinosaurs
the
coming
ladder.
from a lot of the teams so
5 of
far.
his
Ryan,
accounts
this start for the season, this
at one
meta
point
is turning out to
occupied
be
the
very
top
exciting.
the top 10.
I mean, I feel like we've seen very little
In the
of it as
top
well,
10
right?
global
It's just
rank-
like, okay,
rankings,
I appreciate the like Ultra Esports built around their
including number
composition,
1.
but it's to see if they can go and work hard to it.
Looks like
So
we're gonna be having
obviously
our
he's a
debut
god
coming
tier
on in
support
with
player.
The new Vanguard from the Lions, Ziad. Welcome to Marvel Rivals Ignite for starters, and what a great first performance.
Only
How are you
5. Yeah,
feeling
only
after your first
5.
win?
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me.
Might have been
guys.
6, but
First
I
of
know
all,
at least
was a bit of
5
pressure,
of the
like,
top
playing in
10
Ignite first, and second become
players
like,
in the
joining
world
as a
were literally
replacement.
just Saipe.
So it was a bit pressure, and also playing like a hero.
Just
skin,
Saipe
like,
accounts.
15 days ago. But now we're good. We managed like to win the game. I think we did good.
Yeah, you absolutely did, and it was great to see how.
And he's a
it's
pro
been for you
player.
working with this core and preparing for.
He's
stage
not just
1.
a-
It seems like you guys
a
are really
ranked
ahead
player.
of the meta and use the Black Cat
I think
really
all-
well, too.
They most of my
Yeah.
favorite players are
We thought
support
we, like,
players,
been struggling
except for like
because it's, like,
team
your
captain.
batch, like, you struggle to
like I
find
like
out
Saipe, I like
those,
Only Legs,
compositions,
I like
figure
Karova.
out, like our composition, our comfort picks.
Can you talk about like how you joined the team? Because you were obviously like in MRC like season 7.
Theirs
You
is
went
really
through
good
that
though.
with the Lions, and then you've joined this squad. Like, did you trial for that? Was it just like they looked at you and like you did really well in MRC? We're just gonna throw you straight in. Like, obviously you're sort of like sister teams, right? Like, so it felt a little bit like you were a natural
Yeah,
like
yeah.
addition to the roster, right?
Yeah, it was like both of like looking at me in the MLC, and I was trying. Like I was trying.
So there's that one player. I think he was a Starlord player.
Because it was like a bit hard.
I forgot.
Because you
Trying to remember his
trying
name.
To another team and playing to another team, but I did good.
You
in
like Tank?
trials, and I managed
I
to
like-
get back to the Ignite team.
I like Tank in theory. I don't like it in practice.
And they well deserved.
My issue with playing Tank in Rivals is that I don't like the general design of most tanks because it feels like it's too reliant
Thank you.
on your supports to
Guys,
keep
can
you
shoot me
alive.
shout out to something?
And a lot of support players in Rivals are really bad.
Bring it back. Bring it back.
Shout out to
So
us,
it's not really
and
fun.
Shout out to Sakfi, my boys.
Devil Dino is
All right.
definitely a step in the right
Oh, thank you
direction. I
very much.
love
So, yeah,
I love
we'll
Devil
see you in
Dino.
the games
I
coming
love
up.
playing Deadpool, Tankpool. Unfortunately, they nuked him, but I really enjoyed his
Shout
playstyle.
out to production that were very quick to go straight back.
Felt like he had a lot of freedom on that character.
Let the man speak. The shout out is great. An incredible performance from the Lions in the debut match for Ziad and their debut under this new organization. Well done to them, but that is the end of our second series. But I hope you're not full because we have more for you coming up. It's gonna be
I'm not full. I'm actually
Shikigami
hungry.
versus Heretics coming
My
up
lunch is
after
on the
this
way.
모든 순간들 지켜내야
Oh, my lunch is almost here. All right. I'm gonna wrap it up, go eat lunch, but appreciate everyone hanging out for the Ignite. I'll be covering these every month they have them. I'll be doing watch parties for these. I'm gonna keep a tab open because I want to get all my drops, but I'll stream. I think next month they're gonna have 3 big events for Ignite, including the finals, I think. So I'll be back for that. Subscribe for more superhero news. I got a bunch of stuff in the works. I'm Sadot the Gamer signing out. Peace, everybody.